the school beauty's personal bodyguard. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 501, Tensions Rise. Of course, that's no problem. When you're free, just come to Songshan and see me. Guanzuman didn't refuse, but he definitely wouldn't take the initiative to ask the wealthy families to treat them. All the wealthy families and businessmen knew Guanzuman's temper. He could treat patients and didn't care about the consultation fee, but he never made house calls. If he was sick, he would come to Songshan City. Otherwise, no one else would help. This was also because Guanzuman also taught courses at the medical university. In his view, he was a professor, and teaching and educating talents was his mission. Therefore, no matter what, he couldn't delay teaching students. Okay, then I will definitely come to bother you in a while. Wu Gongao smiled and nodded. Grandpa. This is the guy I told you about. Not only did he seduce Sun Jinggai, but he also pretended to be some shitty miracle doctor. He's obviously a liar. Because of him, my aunt slapped me. Wu Chenchen suddenly noticed that Lin Yi, who was beside Guanzuman, was filled with an uncontrollable sense of humiliation. He instantly lost his mind and pointed at Lin Yi and started cursing. Wu Chenchen had been incredibly highly praised by his family recently, being groomed as the third-generation successor. But think about it, a young man in his early 20s had already reached the early yellow rank. What an achievement. Perhaps it was unparalleled in the world. Of course, that was just the Wu family's opinion. Consequently, all the benefits and glory of the Wu family were attributed to Wu Chenchen, fostering his domineering personality. He couldn't tolerate even the slightest loss and would retaliate against any flaw. So, upon seeing Lin Yi, he blurted out insults without a second thought. Guanzuman's expression immediately darkened. In his eyes, Lin Yi was both a mentor and a friend, or at least a senior brother. Naturally, he wasn't pleased to hear someone say that about Lin Yi. He glanced at Wu Gongao and said calmly, "Old Wu, it's alright, we'll be leaving." Wu Gonggao's expression froze. He hadn't expected Guanzuman to speak up for Lin Yi, and he felt a sense of embarrassment. Wu Gongao was known for his protectiveness, and his grandson was incredibly talented, so he naturally treasured him. He gave him whatever he wanted, and no one could say or touch him. Whenever his grandson got into trouble, he'd naturally step in, no matter whose fault it was or who the other person was. But now, Guanzuman was one of the few people he didn't dare offend. With Guanzuman around, he naturally couldn't bother with Lin Yi. He glanced at Lin Yi calmly, memorizing his appearance and preparing to find a chance to deal with him. However, Wu Gongao didn't say anything, but someone else wasn't happy and immediately went ballistic. "Who are you calling a liar? You're the liar? You're worse than shit." Pengzhan Group, seeing this man insulting Lin Yi for no reason, immediately took offense. Who was she? Now she was acting as Lin Yi's suitor. To insult Lin Yi, wasn't that also an insult to her, Pengzhan Group, who had no taste for choosing a liar? So Pengzhan Group naturally refused to accept it, glaring at Wu Chenchen. If there weren't so many people around, she would have kicked him. Who the hell is Pengzhan Group? Beating people is her daily business. Wu Chenchen was furious when he heard someone scolding Lin Yi on his behalf. He was about to say something. But when he saw it was a pretty, charming girl, he couldn't say anything. He could only say, "Don't get involved. You have nothing to do here." The younger one is uneducated, and the older one is uneducated too. Pengzhan Group curled her lips. "Hey, old man, your grandson is so uneducated, why don't you teach him a lesson?" "What did you say, little girl?" A trace of anger flashed across Wu Gonggao's face. He looked at Pengzhan Group sternly, and his fist turned into a palm. As the head of the Iron Hand Wu family, if a junior dared to speak to him like that, where would his face be? Where would the Wu family's face be? "What are you doing, old man?" Pengzhan Group was shocked. Although she didn't know martial arts, she could clearly sense the murderous aura emanating from Wu Gongao. An early Zhuan-level master, Lin Yi's heart trembled. Like Wu Gongao and Wu Chenchen, he was an external body cultivator, so he couldn't sense the energy within them. Only when they activated their external mental techniques could he sense their strength. He hadn't expected this old man to be so formidable. Lin Yi shifted his body subconsciously, giving a wry smile. After all, Feng Xiaoxiao had just stood up for him. Whatever her motives, Lin Yi couldn't ignore her, otherwise, it would be too unkind. So, whenever Wu Gongyao attacked, Lin Yi planned to block Feng Xiaoxiao's attack. Although the opponent was an early Zhuan level expert, Lin Yi possessed the peak strength of the late Wang level and had cultivated the Xuanyuan dragon slaying art, so he was naturally confident he could withstand a move from an early Zhuan level expert. He couldn't guarantee victory, but he could certainly defend himself. However, Lin Yi's move was clearly unnecessary, because the moment he dodged, a middle-aged man quickly appeared in front of Feng Xiaoxiao, staring calmly at Wu Gongyao. "Old Wu, are you going to attack my daughter?" Wu Gongyao was slightly stunned, his expression suddenly changing slightly. Feng Xianlong, how could he not know him? Wu Gongyao took a deep breath, knowing that he couldn't take action today. Teaching Feng Xiaoxiao a lesson was absolutely impossible. What Wu Gongyao feared was not Feng Xianlong's mid-stage Wang rank strength. In the eyes of an early-stage Zhuan rank expert, Wang rank experts were nothing. Of course, it wasn't Feng Xianlong's background that frightened him either. The Mysterious Investigation Bureau was indeed a mysterious organization, and its authority was astonishing. But that was for ordinary people. For a family like Wu Gongyao, while he wouldn't become an enemy, he certainly wasn't afraid of them either. What truly terrified Wu Gongyao was Feng Xianlong's former captain, who had retired from the martial arts world for over a decade. That person had once been a member of the Secret Investigation Bureau's Special Task Force, having carried Feng Xianlong on missions before, and they had a close friendship. If it weren't Feng Xianlong, Wu Gongyao might not have given face to anyone else, but he couldn't help but give face to Feng Xianlong. In that person's eyes, even a D-level expert, let alone an early Zhuan level expert, would likely be a one-trick pony. While he didn't know the man's true strength, Wu Gongyao knew only that if he provoked him, the Wu family would be doomed, and it would only take a day. Huh? Wu Gongyao let out a long sigh, then smiled awkwardly. "Captain Feng, why would I attack your daughter? It was just a joke." "That's better." Feng Xianlong nodded, sighing with relief, and took Feng Xiaoxiao's hand. "Don't run around anymore. Please vote for me. Please feel free to cast a few votes. Thank you." Chapter 502. Is he your boyfriend? Feng Xianlong had just answered a phone call when he saw his daughter run over and nearly get into trouble. If she had been a step later, she would have regretted it. Oh, Feng Xiaoxiao knew, knowing that if her father hadn't come, the old man might have attacked her. However, the old man was clearly wary of her father. Unaware of the reason, Feng Xiaoxiao assumed he was afraid of her father, and suddenly felt a surge of joy. "Professor Guan, long time no see. I was planning to visit you one of these days." Feng Xianlong was delighted to see Guanzuman there. He had been meaning to visit Guanzuman to inquire about the longevity and detoxification pills. Feng Xianlong and Guanzuman knew each other, but after examining Feng Xiaoxiao's condition, Guanzuman was also helpless. He'd heard that even Lin Dongfang had been helpless back then, so how could he possibly help? Just because there had been no help in the past didn't mean there was no hope now. As long as there was a glimmer of hope, Feng Xianlong wouldn't let it go. "It's Xiao Feng. Long time no see." Guanzuman smiled. "I'm always available, just call." Guanzuman was noticeably more enthusiastic about Feng Xianlong, which annoyed Wu Gongyao. With a snort, he quickly pulled Wu Chenshin away. "Okay, Professor Guan, I'm busy now. I'm leaving now." Feng Xianlong had just received a call and had something urgent to do, so he had no time to exchange pleasantries with Guanzuman. He would have to visit again another day. "Okay," Guanzuman nodded. Feng Xianlong was about to turn and leave, holding Feng Xiaoxiao in his arms, when he caught sight of Lin Yi from the corner of his eye. His expression suddenly changed. "Huh?" Lin Yi gave a wry smile. Feng Xianlong had indeed noticed him. In fact, Lin Yi was also shocked when he saw Feng Xianlong. He hadn't expected Feng Xiaoxiao to be Feng Xianlong's daughter. So Lin Yi tried to hide, but ultimately failed. Lin Yi waved his hand slightly, signaling him to keep quiet. Feng Xianlong was a smart man. Seeing Lin Yi wave his hand, he knew he didn't want to reveal his identity, so he pretended not to notice and quickly left with Feng Xiaoxiao. However, the fear he'd felt earlier was gone, and he even laughed at himself for being so nervous. Feng Xianlong had seen Lin Yi briefly step in front of Feng Xiaoxiao, but he hadn't thought much of it at the time. He'd seen it all happen, thinking it was just an accident. He hadn't imagined Lin Yi was trying to shield Feng Xiaoxiao from Wu Gonggao's attack. Now that he knew it was Lin Yi, he understood that Lin Yi's actions had been designed to protect Feng Xiaoxiao. With him protecting her, Feng Xiaoxiao would be safe. Feng Xianlong knew Lin Yi's strength. While he wasn't a match for Wu Gonggao, he could handle him. Xiaoxiao, do you know them? Feng Xianlong asked calmly. He was confused. How could Feng Xiaoxiao know Lin Yi? He looked like someone very familiar with him. I know him. That Lin Yi was my deskmate at school. Feng Xiaoxiao nodded, but she felt a little strange. Didn't her father usually pay much attention to her? Huh? Feng Xianlong's eyes suddenly widened, staring at Feng Xiaoxiao in disbelief. You said he was your classmate? Or your deskmate? Yeah, what's wrong? Feng Xiaoxiao also looked at her father in confusion, confused by his strange expression. No, nothing. Feng Xianlong shook his head. Although Lin Yi wasn't a member of the Mysterious Investigation Bureau, he had cooperated with them on several missions. But even so, what was Lin Yi doing in school? A senior in high school, and sitting next to his daughter? It was a bit unbelievable, wasn't it? However, he couldn't tell Feng Xiaoxiao too much about Lin Yi. Although he had doubts, he kept them to himself. He didn't know Lin Yi's specific identity, and his cooperation with the Mysterious Investigation Bureau was arranged by higher-ups. Xiaoxiao, go back to the hotel. Daddy has some urgent matters to attend to. I might not be home tonight, and I might be busy tomorrow, too. Feng Xianlong felt a bit embarrassed at this point. He had just promised to spend a few days with his daughter, but now something else had happened. It's okay. Go ahead and get busy. I'll find my classmates to attend the auction tomorrow. This time, Feng Xiaoxiao wasn't angry. She waved her hand nonchalantly, speaking casually. Feng Xianlong was slightly startled by Feng Xiaoxiao's attitude, but then he suddenly remembered his daughter's previous defense of Lin Yi. Could it be that his daughter had also fallen in love? Had she started liking a boy? And that boy was Lin Yi? The thought of this possibility startled Feng Xianlong himself. However, unlike other parents, Feng Xianlong didn't object to his daughter's premature love, because his daughter's situation was unique. On the contrary, he hoped his daughter would quickly find a boyfriend and give him a grandchild. That way, if anything happened to his daughter, he wouldn't end up alone. Since his daughter's crush was Lin Yi, Feng Xianlong was even more supportive. He had seen how outstanding Lin Yi was. Although Feng Xianlong wouldn't object to if Feng Xiaoxiao looked for someone else, wouldn't it be better if she found someone he could also satisfy? Feng Xianlong hadn't wanted his daughter to run around, but when he realized that if she really was with Lin Yi tomorrow, he'd be able to protect her, he stopped worrying. Are you talking about that Lin Yi? Feng Xianlong asked Feng Xiaoxiao after arriving at the parking lot, opening the car door, and getting in. Yet, Feng Xiaoxiao felt a little embarrassed. From her father's tone, it seemed as if he'd noticed something. But aside from shame, Feng Xiaoxiao wasn't afraid. She wasn't just joking around with Lin Yi. Even if they were really together, Feng Xiaoxiao wouldn't care. She'd always been a troublemaker since she was little. Whether her father was angry or not, she'd still be like that. Xiaoxiao, is he your boyfriend? Feng Xianlong suddenly asked as he started the car. Huh? Feng Xiaoxiao wasn't expecting her father to ask such a direct question. She was taken aback for a moment, then stammered, No. Feng Xianlong countered, just now, you seemed to be defending him, weren't you? Well, we're classmates, and we sit at the same table, so of course I have to defend him. Feng Xiaoxiao was embarrassed. Although she was fearless, she was still a little shy when it came to matters like men and women. Hey, Xiaoxiao, Daddy doesn't object to you having a boyfriend. If you find someone suitable, bring him back for Daddy to see. Feng Xianlong smiled. Knowing his daughter was shy, he didn't ask any more questions and directly stated his position. Chapter 503. We also sell hardcover editions. Huh? Feng Xiaoxiao's eyes widened, staring at her father in disbelief. What did you say? What I mean is, Xiaoxiao, you're not young anymore. It's time for you to find a boyfriend, right? Feng Xianlong coughed. He felt it wasn't the right time to broach the subject with his daughter, but he had to. Feng Xiaoxiao's medical condition had forced Feng Xianlong to consider this idea. Other parents didn't want their children to fall in love too early, let alone have children out of wedlock, but Feng Xianlong wanted his daughter to have a child quickly. Deep down, Feng Xianlong knew there was almost no cure for his daughter's illness. Even if he tried everywhere, his chances were slim. Even if a miracle doctor appeared, they could only extend her life by a few years at best. A complete recovery was a pipe dream. That was why Feng Xianlong was so eager for his daughter to find a boyfriend. He wanted to see his daughter's life continue, so he didn't care about anything else and brought up the topic directly with his daughter. That's not necessary, is it? Feng Xiaoxiao blushed even more shyly. Why would I find a boyfriend? I won't say much about that. It's up to you. Feng Xianlong smiled and drove away. After dropping Feng Xiaoxiao off at the hotel, Feng Xianlong gave her a few instructions and quickly drove off. Everyone was waiting for him, so Feng Xianlong had no choice but to go ahead. Feng Xiaoxiao remained alone in the hotel, pondering what her father had just said. What did he mean? Supporting her finding a boyfriend? Feng Xiaoxiao felt a little strange. She wasn't even old enough to get married yet. Suddenly, Feng Xiaoxiao remembered her unique situation. Wasn't her mother around the same age when she gave birth to her? Feng Xiaoxiao's genetic condition was strange. It was passed down to daughters, not sons. If it were a boy, there wouldn't be any problems, but it would be a girl. She'd occasionally heard her father talk about her mother's youth. It seemed like her grandfather had been so anxious to get her together that they didn't even register their marriage, and she had him. But her father was a devoted man, and he hadn't remarried in all those years. Perhaps her father's sentiments now mirror those of her grandfather's. Feng Xiaoxiao shook her head. Times had changed. She was only in high school. Wasn't it a little strange to be asked to find a boyfriend and have a child? Feng Xiaoxiao had never considered this problem before, because in her opinion, in her short life, there was no friendship, let alone love. Feng Xiaoxiao didn't want to get entangled with anyone, nor did she need other people's sympathy, and she didn't want the sadness of life and death. So for 18 years, she had no close friends, only a group of subordinates with bad friends. She had never been moved by boys, because she didn't want to face the pain of hard to let go. However, Feng Xianlong's words made Feng Xiaoxiao fall into deep thought for the first time. Find a boyfriend by yourself? Is it okay? Can you like someone else? Feng Xiaoxiao smiled bitterly and shook her head. Who would like herself? Finding a girlfriend like herself who is about to die, wouldn't that be the worst bad luck? Before anything happened, she was gone. Feng Xiaoxiao suddenly thought of Lin Yi. If that was the case, if Lin Yi fell in love with her, he would definitely be very painful even if she didn't dump him, right? At this thought, Feng Xiaoxiao's resolve hardened. Second uncle, Lai Chang'ai and the others have left. The young man who had previously competed with Fatty Lai for the parchment map whispered into his headset. Xiao-kun, follow them and see which hotel they're staying in, and then find out the identity of the young man with Lai Chang'ai. The middle-aged man sitting next to Yu Haitian instructed the young man. Yes, the young man named Xiao-kun nodded, and after exiting the auction venue, he vanished into the night in a flash. Fatty Lai didn't have a car in Yanjing, and the hotel the three of them were staying in wasn't far from the auction venue, only about a kilometer on foot. Fatty Lai, despite his weight, was in good shape, and Guanzuman was in good health. An occasional walk was good for his health. Lin Yi was also fine. So, instead of taking a taxi, the three of them walked directly to the hotel, a good way to get some exercise and then have a late-night snack at the hotel's tea restaurant. Boss, have you decided what we're going to auction? Fatty Lai, still thinking about making another splash at the auction, reminded Lin Yi, fearing he'd forgotten. I really haven't thought about it yet. Lin Yi frowned slightly, lost in thought. Dr. Kang had put up for auction a hardcover edition of the Golden Injury Medicine. If he also put up a hardcover edition of the Trauma Medicine, it would clearly seem like he was following the trend. Boss, I think we should just put up a hardcover edition of the Trauma Medicine. They have it, so we have it too, and it won't be a hassle, Fatty Lai suggested, seeing Lin Yi's embarrassment. Would that be just following the trend? Wouldn't we be left behind? Lin Yi retorted. Boss, I have no choice. In the early stages of our pharmaceutical company, I don't plan to release too many different products. One longevity and detoxification pill is enough. If we have too many products, we won't be able to showcase the benefits of our trauma medicine and analgesics. Furthermore, we should gradually unveil our trump cards. Unleashing them all at once wouldn't be in line with our business philosophy, Fatty Lai said. That must be the hardcover edition of the trauma medicine, Lin Yi nodded, already making a calculation in his mind. Our hardcover edition of the trauma medicine is different from the ones made by Dr. Kang and his colleagues. I added a few herbs to it. It has a significant effect on old scars and can quickly remove dead tissue and regenerate new flesh. Huh? Fatty Lai's eyes widened, looking at Lin Yi in disbelief. Boss, is it really that magical? It's not really magical. It's just based on the trauma medicine, with a few other Chinese herbs added. It's just that the cost is much higher, Lin Yi shrugged and said calmly. The higher cost is okay. After all, it's a fine product to be auctioned. Regular editions don't add any of these ingredients, Fatty Lai said, based on the annual transaction price of the hardcover edition of Dr. Kang's Golden Healing Medicine. A box is over 500,000. Oh? That's quite high. It must have cost enough. Lin Yi was a little surprised. A box of Golden Healing Medicine could sell for 500,000? That's nothing. 500,000 is nothing to those rich people. They make hundreds of thousands of dollars a second. If you cut your hand, if it heals a day earlier, you might be able to make more money. Fatty Lai laughed and said, to be honest, I bought a box last year too. Chapter 504. The cost is so low. So, the hardcover edition of Dr. Kang's Golden Healing Medicine is auctioned off more than just one box per year, Lin Yi asked after hearing this. One box? At least 20 boxes per year, but they were usually auctioned with a cap price of 500,000. Whoever bids 500,000 first gets it, eliminating the tedious bidding process, Fatty Lai said. For 20 boxes, it depends on who's quickest. Whoever bids 500,000 first gets it, so, every box is sold for 500,000, Lin Yi nodded and continued. That's not entirely true. The first few boxes were all 500,000. Then, as the competition dwindled, the price naturally dropped, sometimes to 400,000 or 300,000, Fatty Lai said. 500,000 is fine. I'll see if there's a pharmacy down the road and buy some more herbs, Lin Yi nodded, feeling that the profit was quite good. While not as much as the longevity and detoxification pills, it was still quite a bit. Most importantly, it would build his reputation. Fatty Lai was no longer surprised by Lin Yi's magical powers. Lin Yi was probably the only one who made up the medicine on the spot the night before the auction. He quickly said, then I'll contact someone to buy some high-quality packaging and have it delivered overnight. No need. I'll just buy some disposable medicine bottles and put them in. Lin Yi waved his hand. It's up to them. If they want to believe it or not, they can bid, and if they don't, they can't. That's right. Good medicine will sell easily. Why should we make it so good for them? Fatty Lai nodded and said, another sum of money saved. How? Lin Yi felt that Fatty Lai was really a good businessman. It seemed that handing over the pharmaceutical group to him was a wise decision. By the way, what is the market price of Dr. Kang's Golden Healing Medicine? The market price of Dr. Kang's Golden Healing Medicine is 299 yuan a box, and I want to price our trauma medicine at 288 yuan, Fatty Lai said, but I don't know what our cost is, so the price is not disclosed for the time being. What? We're selling it for 288, Lin Yi's eyes widened. Dr. Kang was selling a box of ordinary gold wound medicine for nearly 300 yuan. Wasn't that a bit too much? How could anyone afford something so crucial to people's livelihoods? Lin Yi would naturally rip off those he disliked, but he had no intention of cheating the poor out of their money. It's too cheap. Fatty Lai was also surprised when he saw Lin Yi's expression. Boss, Dr. Kang's golden medicine only sells for 299. Although it is in short supply, if we sell it for more than his, I'm afraid we won't be able to open up the market. I also know that our effect must be better than his. After hearing what Fatty Lai said, Lin Yi knew that he had misunderstood, and couldn't help laughing. The cost of this thing is only a few dollars. I think it's a bit expensive. Huh? A few dollars? Fatty Lai was stunned for a moment and almost fell to the ground. Boss, did I hear it right? A few dollars? How is it possible? Isn't the cost of Dr. Kang's golden medicine also a few dollars? I don't know about his. I haven't seen it. Lin Yi shook his head, but ours is at this cost. I suggest selling it a little cheaper so that ordinary people can afford it. Okay, then let's make a people-friendly company. Fatty Lai gritted his teeth and said with great pain. Then we will sell it for 199. He was a profiteer, but since Lin Yi had spoken, Fatty Lai couldn't insist. He believed that 288 would definitely sell well, even outstripping demand. 199? Lin Yi still thought it was a bit high, but he didn't understand the cost of running a company. Seeing Fatty Lai's pained expression, he nodded. Okay. Fatty Lai finally breathed a sigh of relief. He was also afraid Lin Yi would cut the price by another 100, bringing it down to 99, which would significantly reduce the profit. Then I'll make a plan. We'll announce the retail price at the next auction. Fatty Lai nodded and said, what do you think is a good price for the painkillers, boss? The cost of a single dose is about 50 cents. Of course, mass production will reduce that. You decide on the price, Lin Yi said. Okay, then how about a box of 5 for 199 as well? Fatty Lai asked tentatively. 99, Lin Yi said after a moment's thought. Okay, I'll listen to you, boss. Fatty Lai had actually given Lin Yi a slightly higher price, fearing he'd haggle, giving him some wiggle room. After confirming the prices for the two medicines, Fatty Lai felt relieved. More importantly, knowing the cost of the medicines made him even happier. This showed that Lin Yi had already considered him one of his own, and he was gradually sharing some key details with him. Passing by a larger pharmacy, Lin Yi and the others went in. Lin Yi didn't use a prescription, but simply dictated some herbs and had the pharmacy attendant weigh them. Of course, while Lin Yi had built some trust in Fatty Lai, he didn't completely trust him. When prescribing the medicine, he deliberately mentioned some unnecessary drugs, and the dosages were also a mess. There were also a few main ingredients that Lin Yi didn't mention, but instead mentioned a few less common ones. The attendant shook his head, indicating they didn't have any. It's okay. There are plenty of pharmacies in Yanjing City. Let's go check elsewhere. When Fatty Lai heard that there were no pharmacies, he quickly said to Lin Yi, if that doesn't work, I'll have someone buy some and drive it over. No need for now. Let's go check elsewhere first. Lin Yi smiled. After getting the medicine, Fatty Lai rushed to pay. It wasn't much, just a few hundred yuan. Guan Zuman remained silent, and didn't bother to remember what Lin Yi had bought. It was obvious that he was a man of integrity. Unless Lin Yi showed him the prescription, Guan Zuman wouldn't ask for it. Not long after the three of them left the pharmacy, a young man named Xiao Kun watched Lin Yi and Fatty Lai walk away. He hesitated for a moment, then slipped into the pharmacy where Lin Yi had bought the medicine. The street was straight, a pedestrian street, with no side streets. That's why Xiao Kun went into the pharmacy, otherwise, he wouldn't have risked losing Lin Yi. Excuse me, waiter, what did those three people just buy? Xiao Kun asked the waiter in a friendly manner. There was only one waiter in the pharmacy at the time. Because it was the night shift, they didn't need too many people, so one waiter was enough. This saved Xiao Kun the trouble of asking multiple times. Please vote for recommendations. Thank you all. If you have any recommendations, please vote for them. Chapter 505. Someone is following. Fatty Lai, take Grandpa Guan to the shop next door and wait for me. I'm going to take care of something. Lin Yi suddenly stopped and instructed Fatty Lai. Oh? Okay. Although Fatty Lai didn't know what Lin Yi was going to do, seeing that Lin Yi didn't want to explain, he didn't ask any more questions. He took Guan Zuman into a nearby boutique. Lin Yi turned and walked quickly to the pharmacy where he had bought medicine before. Lin Yi didn't expect to be followed on his first day in Yanjing. Excuse me, sir. The waiter smiled sweetly at Xiao Kun. Our pharmacy must keep our customers' privacy confidential. It must be said that Xiao Kun was extremely handsome, with a lot of the male protagonist in Korean dramas, which made the pharmacy waiter couldn't help but look at him a few more times. Xiao Kun frowned. His appearance had always been a killer for girls. He thought the waitress would tell him the truth, but he didn't expect her to keep it a secret. However, Xiao Kun did not give up. He took out his wallet, pulled out a few hundred yuan bills from it, and put them on the counter. Beauty, give me some face. The man before was my buddy. I don't know where he got a folk remedy from to buy medicine for my dad. But I don't know what he bought. I'm afraid my dad will have problems after eating it, so I want to confirm it. Oh, so, the waitress, who was not very good looking, was slightly moved. Xiao Kun's appearance was indeed pleasing, but the money on the counter was even more tempting. For a working girl like her, it was a big temptation. She only had a salary of more than 1,000 yuan a month, and Xiao Kun gave her 500 yuan at once, which made it difficult for her to refuse. After a moment's hesitation, the waitress quickly collected the bills from the counter. She then reached under the counter and pulled out a list, placing it on the counter. "You can copy it down, but you can't take it." Xiao Kun took the list and looked through it. His memory was exceptional, so he quickly memorized the names of the medications. He then returned the list to the waitress. "I'm a medical student, so I can tell if there are any conflicting medications at a glance. There's nothing special, so it's fine. I'll give it back to you." "Thank you." "Okay." The waitress breathed a sigh of relief. This was the first time she'd ever betrayed a customer's privacy, and she wasn't quite used to it. But when Xiao Kun said there was nothing wrong, she felt relieved. He'd only glanced at it, so it should be fine. "Goodbye, beautiful, and thank you." Xiao Kun turned and walked out of the pharmacy. But as he did, his expression froze. He saw Lin Yi standing right in front of him. "Why are you following me?" Lin Yi asked calmly, looking at Xiao Kun in front of him. Lin Yi didn't want to cause trouble in Yanjing, but since someone was following him, he couldn't just ignore it. Faced with such unknown dangers, Lin Yi always chose to strike first. However, the jade pendant didn't warn him, suggesting this person likely didn't harbor any hostility towards him. So, Lin Yi gave him a chance to explain, rather than attacking the mid-yellow rank expert directly. The man before him was no more than his early 20s, yet possessing the strength of a mid-yellow rank was truly remarkable. "Following you? Did you recognize the wrong person?" Xiao Kun paused for a moment before returning to normal. However, a flicker of surprise crossed his eyes. He hadn't expected Lin Yi to discover he was following him. Xiao Kun hadn't made much effort to conceal himself in following these three individuals, but with his mid-yellow rank strength, being discovered was a bit of a surprise. "Really? That's for the best," Lin Yi shrugged, remembering Xiao Kun's expression. Ultimately, he gave up on the idea of killing him. Being in a foreign land, Lin Yi didn't want to attract too much trouble. Since the man before him didn't seem to harbor much hostility towards him, Lin Yi merely warned him, as long as he stopped following him. Watching Lin Yi's departing figure, Xiao Kun frowned. He couldn't understand how this seemingly ordinary young man before him had discovered him. However, it would be inappropriate to follow him now, so Xiao Kun could only call his second uncle. "Second uncle, they've discovered me." "Oh?" The middle-aged man was slightly taken aback. "They discovered you? Do they have expert bodyguards?" "Not sure yet. I don't know how they discovered you, but I had that young man stop me and ask if I was following him." Xiao Kun was also very depressed. It really proved the saying that if you walk by the river often, you will get your feet wet. He had actually capsized in the ditch. He thought it was a simple tracking mission, but it was discovered. "Forget it, just come back. Now that we know that Lai Chang'ai is with Guanzumin, that's enough." The middle-aged man pondered for a moment and said, "Just keep an eye on their company for a while. Tomorrow I'll find a chance to test Lai Chang'ai and see what his purpose is in buying the map." "Okay, second uncle." Xiao Kun nodded, turned around and disappeared into the night, but he didn't tell his second uncle about the pharmacy. Lin Yi came to the boutique. Guanzumin and Fatty Lai were not actually shopping, but just casually strolling inside. When they saw Lin Yi coming, they greeted him. "Is the business done?" Fatty Lai asked. "Well, it wasn't a big deal. I just met an acquaintance." Lin Yi smiled and didn't tell anyone about the fact that someone was following him, so as not to worry Fatty Lai and Guanzumin. Intuitively, Lin Yi didn't think Xiao Kun was coming for him. Perhaps he'd seen the potential of Guan Shenyi's pharmaceutical company at the auction and followed him to see if he could find anything. Especially since he'd just left the hospital, it was obvious he was there to find out what he'd just bought. So, assuming he was someone spying on trade secrets, he didn't consider the incomplete map. Fortunately, Lin Yi had been careful not to buy all the necessary medicines at once, saving himself a lot of unnecessary trouble. In fact, even if Lin Yi had bought everything, it would be useless without the base ingredients for the trauma medicine. Only when added to the trauma medicine would it have the effect of healing old wounds. On the way, they passed another pharmacy and bought the remaining Chinese medicinal herbs. Fatty Lai made no effort to write them down, which reassured Lin Yi. Back at the hotel, Lin Yi set about preparing the hardcover version of the trauma medicine. This wasn't a difficult task for Lin Yi, and he quickly filled the small disposable vials he'd purchased. "Please vote for me. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 506, Some Left. Isn't that Brother Chenshin? What's wrong? You look so gloomy. The speaker was Xiaoji's son, Xiao Wangba. He knew his family was failing, so he quickly sought to forge ties with the other aristocratic families. Seeing Wu Chenshin emerge from the auction hall with a disgruntled expression, he immediately went to greet him. Xiao Wangba had some history with Wu Chenshin, a drinking buddy who'd shared drinks and women, but he was also familiar, and Xiao Wangba's fawning compliments hadn't stopped Wu Chenshin from rejecting him. He glanced at Xiao Wangba and said, "Don't mention it. I ran into some jerk who tried to steal my woman, and my grandfather didn't help me, so he dragged me out. I don't know what he couldn't do to offend him, except that he was with Divine Dr. Guan." "That's right, Divine Dr. Guan is nothing. Divine Dr. Kang is the real deal." It was Xiao Wangba's younger brother, Xiao Ben's son, Xiao Wangdao, who spoke up. The Xiao and Kang families were about to become in-laws, so naturally, he favored Divine Dr. Kang. That's right, Wu Chenshin immediately felt that the Xiao brothers were right up his alley. "What are you two doing? Come with me, I'll treat you to a drink." Wu Chenshin was feeling unhappy and just wanted to find someone to talk to. The Xiao brothers exchanged a glance and were overjoyed. They had already been trying to get close to Wu Chenshin, and now Wu Chenshin took the initiative to invite them to dinner. How could they not be overjoyed? "Okay. But we should treat Brother Chenshin. You're the eldest brother and we're the younger brothers. How can we let you pay?" Xiao Wangba said. "If you say so, then we can't let you treat. Since I'm the eldest brother, it's only natural for you to treat." Wu Chenshin's previous unhappiness eased a little after hearing the Xiao brothers' compliments. "Okay, but we'll have to wait. Brother Xiaolong from Dr. Kang's family and his fiancée, my cousin, will be here soon. Let's go together." Xiao Wangba nodded. "Oh? Is that Kang Xiaolong?" Wu Chenshin was slightly taken aback. "I know him. We've met before. Let's go together." After waiting for a while, a Nissan Quest commercial vehicle slowly drove up. It belonged to the Xiao family. Although the Xiao family had fallen on hard times, they hadn't sold the car. It was expensive to buy, but selling it would definitely result in a huge loss, so they kept it as a showpiece. Originally, the Xiao family and Dr. Kang had intended for Kang Xiaolong and Wang Xinayan to attend the auction together, but Wang Xinayan refused to go. Kang Xiaolong had no choice but to stay home with her. Wang Xinayan sat quietly on the sofa all afternoon, listening to her MP3 player and flipping through a novel on her phone. No matter what Kang Xiaolong said, she responded with an oro, which completely irritated him. Finally, evening arrived and the auction was over. Xiao Wangba and Xiao Wangdao invited Kang Xiaolong out for dinner. At her parents' urging, Wang Xinayan reluctantly went with Kang Xiaolong. Because her father had promised her a meal together, a chance to spend some time together, and no rush to make a decision, Wang Xinayan reluctantly went to the auction with Kang Xiaolong. "Brother Chenshin, do you have a car?" Xiao Wangba asked Wu Chenshin upon seeing his family's car approaching. Wu Chenshin had come with Wu Gongao, but Wu Gongao had apparently gone to meet a friend, and Wu Chenshin, irritated that his grandfather hadn't stood up for him, was sulking alone and hadn't left with him. So, where would he find a car? "Let's go, take your car." Wu Chenshin didn't feel embarrassed about not having a car. After all, with the Wu family's stature, no one would believe him if he said he didn't have one. "Okay, that's great. Brother Chenshin, please get in." Xiao Wangba invited Wu Chenshin into the car, then joined Xiao Wangdao. "Brother Kang, this is Brother Chenshin from the Tishao Wu family." Xiao Wangdao introduced Kang Xiaolong after they got in. "Oh? Hello, Brother Chenshin, we have met before." Kang Xiaolong smiled and stretched out his hand to Wu Chenshin. "This is my fiancé, Wang Xinayan. Xinayan, this is Brother Chenshin, the leader of the younger generation of the Tishao Wu family, our idol." "Ha, you're flattered." Wu Chenshin felt very comfortable with Kang Xiaolong. "Xiaolong, you are so nice to talk to. I want to have a few more drinks with you later." "No problem," Kang Xiaolong happily agreed. He was good at studying, but he was not a nerd. On the contrary, he was very insidious and knew how to please Wu Chenshin at this moment. Wang Xinian sat there quietly, not saying a word, listening to her MP3, as if the person next to her had nothing to do with her. Seeing Wang Xinian silent, Kang Xiaolong felt helpless. However, Wu Chenshin didn't mind at all and sat there chatting with Xiao Wangba. Lin Yi delivered 20 bottles of fine bundle trauma medicine to Fatty Lai's room. Fatty Lai was surprised that Lin Yi had prepared it so quickly. Besides being surprised, he also admired his own wise decision to follow Lin Yi. "Boss, how do we price this fine bundled gold wound medicine? You decide." Lin Yi wouldn't interfere with the pricing of such auction items, as the participants were all wealthy businessmen, so a little money spent wouldn't be a big deal. Okay, with Lin Yi's full authorization, Fatty Lai felt more comfortable taking matters into his own hands. After a moment's hesitation, he said, "Boss, can I bid on this fine bundle trauma medicine? You need it." Lin Yi gave Fatty Lai a strange look. It seemed like men didn't have much need for such things, did they? Just like Lin Yi had several battle scars on his body, but Lin Yi didn't think of continuing to work on them, as there was no need. "Hey, this is my wife's scar from the appendectomy she had a few years ago." Fatty Lai said this with a bit of embarrassment. "You know, every time we make out, I feel uncomfortable when I see the scar, and my wife loves beauty, so she can't wear belly-bearing clothes in the summer." "Okay, I got it." Lin Yi heard Fatty Lai nagging, so he waved his hand. "There are still some left in my room. I was going to throw them away, but if you need them, take them back." "Huh? Throw them away?" Fatty Lai almost fainted. "Boss, these are all money. It's a pity to throw them away. It's like throwing money away. I have some extra, and there are no more bottles. It's a bit of a hindrance on my bed, and I still have to sleep at night." Lin Yi shrugged indifferently. Lin Yi really didn't care much about such low-cost things. "I have a place here, I won't sleep." Fatty Lai secretly felt lucky. What if he was a step too late? Then there would be nothing left. Chapter 507 My Dad Wants to See You. He stuffed the remaining trauma medicine into Fatty Lai. Seeing that the guy was about to cry again, Lin Yi was so scared that he pushed the fat man out of the room and slammed the door shut. Stretching, Lin Yi called Tang Yun. The phone still turned off. Lin Yi shook his head helplessly, wondering if Tang Yun had seen his text message. After washing his face, the phone on the bed rang. Lin Yi thought it was Tang Yin calling back, but when he picked it up, it was Feng Xiaoxiao. Lin Yi frowned and didn't want to answer, but Feng Xiaoxiao's perseverance was amazing. She called again and again, and Lin Yi had to answer impatiently. "What's going on? Why are you so mean to me?" Feng Xiaoxiao heard Lin Yi's impatient voice and felt a little wronged. What did he mean? He was always so gentle and kind to others, but he was so rude to her. "Are you okay?" Lin Yi ignored her. "If not, I'm hanging up." "Don't hang up, I'm okay." "I really am." Feng Xiaoxiao was startled and quickly calmed Lin Yi down, but her mind was desperately thinking of a reason to find Lin Yi. "Just tell me if you have something to say." Lin Yi resisted the urge to hang up. "Where are you?" Feng Xiaoxiao asked. "Hotel," Lin Yi said. "Anything else?" "Yes, something else." Feng Xiaoxiao was so anxious that sweat broke out on her forehead. "Which hotel are you staying in? Does this have anything to do with your business?" Lin Yi asked back. "Are you okay?" "Yes. My dad wants to see you." "You met him at the auction before, right?" Feng Xiaoxiao couldn't think of any other reason, so she suddenly came up with one. "Your dad? To see me?" Lin Yi was stunned. However, he didn't doubt Feng Xiaoxiao's words. He already knew Feng Xianlong and had even been on missions together, so it was possible that Feng Xianlong was looking for him. But why would Feng Xiaoxiao call him? Couldn't he have called himself? Besides, he had already winked and gestured to Feng Xianlong. As a highly qualified agent, couldn't he see that he didn't want to reveal his identity? Why would he come to him? It would have been fine if he had come to him privately, but Feng Xianlong wouldn't do such a reckless thing, would he? Yet, Feng Xiaoxiao had just come up with this excuse, but now it was a little hard to justify. Yet, why did Dad look for Lin Yi? Feng Xiaoxiao's brain raced, and finally, she had an idea. "I told my dad you're my boyfriend, so he wants to meet you," Feng Xiaoxiao said shyly. "Huh?" Lin Yi almost threw the phone away. He could eat whatever he wanted, but how could he say anything he wanted? "Tell Feng Xianlong that you're Feng Xiaoxiao's boyfriend?" Lin Yi suddenly realized. No wonder Feng Xianlong wanted to meet him. Any father who heard their daughter had a boyfriend would definitely want to check it out, especially him. He used to know Pengzhan Long, and Pengzhan Long was probably wondering how he ended up with his daughter. Lin Yi, which hotel are you at? I'll come find you, Pengzhan said to Lin Yi in a soft voice. Forget it. Where are you? I'll come find you. Lin Yi was a little speechless. He really needed to explain this to Pengzhan Long, otherwise it would be a bit of a mess. I'm at the Songshan International Hotel. I'll meet you at the hotel entrance. Pengzhan didn't expect Lin Yi to agree so immediately. It seemed that using her dad as an excuse was not a bad idea after all. How could she know that Lin Yi had misunderstood and there was something else going on? Okay, Lin Yi smiled bitterly and hung up the phone. He really needed to meet with Pengzhan Long to sort this out. After saying hello to Guanzuman and Fatty Lai, the three of them had originally agreed to go to the hotel's tea restaurant for a midnight snack, but Lin Yi was obviously unable to eat. At the hotel entrance, he stopped a taxi and told Pengzhan the name of the hotel. Songshan International Hotel was not far from the hotel where Lin Yi lived, but it was on the other side of the auction house. The car stopped at the hotel entrance. Lin Yi paid the fare and saw Pengzhan standing in front of the hotel door, waving at him. Lin Yi frowned slightly. Pengzhan was still so enthusiastic at this time. Wasn't she waiting for Pengzhan Long to misunderstand? Lin Yi, here, Pengzhan shouted excitedly when she saw Lin Yi, waving her little hands back and forth. Where's your dad? Lin Yi walked up to Pengzhan and ignored her enthusiasm. Oh, my dad. Pengzhan had already thought of a plan. My dad got a call at the last minute and has to go to a meeting. He asked me to entertain you first and he'll be back soon. If it were anyone else, they would definitely not believe Pengzhan's words. How could such a coincidence happen? He called Lin Yi over one moment and then left for something the next? But Lin Yi actually believed it. In his opinion, although Pengzhan Long had more freedom than himself, he was not much freer. The mission might come at any time, it could be morning or midnight. So Lin Yi nodded without a doubt. Where should we wait? I haven't eaten yet. My dad asked me to treat you to something first. Pengzhan was a little surprised. She didn't expect Lin Yi to be so gullible. Logically, Lin Yi was not such a fool, was he? At school, Lin Yi didn't believe anything she said. What happened today? However, although Pengzhan was puzzled, she was not stupid enough to ask. She could only bury it in her heart and wait and see. Oh, then let's eat something. Lin Yi had dinner early and was originally going to have a midnight snack with Fatty Lai and Guanzuman, but Pengzhan called him over. Huh? Okay, then let's just walk around here and see if there's anything good to eat. Pengzhan didn't expect Lin Yi to agree so readily, and couldn't help but feel even more confused. Can't we eat here? Lin Yi pointed curiously at the Songshan International Hotel behind Pengzhan. How could you not have food at an international hotel? This, Pengzhan hesitated for a moment, then said, it's so expensive here, I don't have enough money. Pengzhan stayed in an economy room, and Pengzhan Long paid for it. The hotel and food here were not cheap. Pengzhan only brought a few thousand yuan with her this time, so naturally she didn't want to spend it all at once. Oh, I'll treat you. Lin Yi was slightly stunned and smiled. He didn't expect Pengzhan to have such a lovely side. Chapter 508 Wu Chenshin's Plan. It's not that Lin Yi's impression of Pengzhan has changed, but he feels that Pengzhan has been acting abnormal recently. She suddenly confessed to him inexplicably, and he doesn't know what she is thinking. Now that she has told Pengzhan Long, Lin Yi is even more suspicious of what Pengzhan is thinking. Okay, Pengzhan didn't expect Lin Yi to treat her to a meal, so she nodded happily and agreed. While the two were talking, a Nissan Quest commercial vehicle stopped in the parking lot of Songshan International Hotel. Wu Chenshin, Kang's Hao Long, the Xiao brothers and Wang Zinayan got out of the car one after another. Xiao Wangba praised, Brother Chenshin is awesome. I have only been to Songshan International Hotel once or twice, and those were for family gatherings. Coming here is not a big deal. Wu Chenshin waved his hand arrogantly. In reality, while the Wu family is an ancient and aristocratic family, they cherish martial arts, and each member is a skilled practitioner. However, when it comes to business, they're rather mediocre. While they own several businesses, they're not very large, generating only tens of millions in annual revenue. This is why the Wu family only observes and rarely bids at auctions. Songjiang International Hotel isn't exactly expensive. Just like the guest rooms, they're divided into different tiers: economy, business, deluxe, and presidential suites. While a standard economy room costs only a few hundred yuan a day, a presidential suite can cost tens of thousands. The same goes for the restaurant. The first and second floors are standard hotel rooms, and prices aren't all that expensive. A table costs only 1,000 or 800 yuan, and if you skip the private rooms and enjoy a set menu in the lobby, you can still get by for a few dozen yuan. However, the third and fourth floors command tens of thousands of yuan, so don't even think about it. The top floor is even more outrageous, with a single banquet costing over 1,000,000 yuan, using only the finest ingredients and prepared by internationally renowned chefs. Of course, each floor has its own dedicated elevator, so there's no need to worry about unpleasant encounters caused by varying levels of diners. This also shows that the hotel is very powerful. That's right. Brother Chenshin is definitely much higher in class than us. Xiao Wenggao also gave a thumbs up and complimented. Wang Xinayan frowned. She didn't like this kind of flattery. She didn't understand why her father fell in love with this kind of young man. Even if she had known such a person for 10 years, she would not like him. Xiao Wangba wanted to say a few more words of congratulations, but when he looked up, he found that Wu Chenshin's face was not right, and he was immediately stunned. Brother Chenshin, what's wrong with you? Damn, I saw that little jerk. Wu Chenshin clenched his fists. His eyes stopped on Lin Yi, who was not far away. He now had the urge to run over and beat Lin Yi up. Oh? Why is it him? Kang Xiaolong was also stunned when he saw Lin Yi. He did not attend the auction, so naturally he didn't know that Lin Yi had also come to Yanjing. Brother Chenshin, do we need to teach him a lesson? Who's that chick? She looks pretty good. Xiao Wangba suddenly became arrogant when he saw Lin Yi alone with a woman by his side. Although the Xiao family may be in decline now, a lean camel is still bigger than a horse. In Yanjing City, Xiao Wangba doesn't take anyone seriously. Ah, Wang Xinayan also exclaimed. She also looked at Lin Yi in disbelief, wondering why Lin Yi appeared here before she called him. No need, Wu Chenshin waved his hand, Xiao Wangba's words reminding him. The woman beside Lin Yi was obviously Sun Jinggai, and since Lin Yi was Sun Jinggai's boyfriend, he was hanging out with another woman. It was Lin Yi's bad luck. Wu Chenshin thought, if he told Sun Jinggai about this, would she still be with Lin Yi? Of course, this kind of thing was nothing in the eyes of these young masters. As long as his girlfriend didn't find evidence, it would be fine. If this were brought to light, it would be a serious matter. No need. Xiao Wangba was a little confused by Wu Chenshin's intentions. This was such a good opportunity to deal with Lin Yi, why not use it? I'm going to treat them to dinner later. Just cooperate with me. Don't talk nonsense, listen to what I say and follow my lead. Wu Chenshin wasn't stupid. If he had directly told Sun Jinggai that Lin Yi had a woman outside, Sun Jinggai would definitely not believe him and would think he was talking nonsense. Everything required evidence. Although he could take a photo and send it to Sun Jinggai, a photo of them talking at the hotel entrance wouldn't prove anything. It's easy to talk to an acquaintance, and Wu Chenshin wouldn't be stupid enough to use such a thing as evidence. Instead, he thought of treating Lin Yi to dinner. Then, maybe he could see the intimate actions between Lin Yi and Feng Xiaoxiro. Of course, if Lin Yi was more cautious, he could get him more wine. He would inevitably reveal his true intentions after drinking. If he took a photo, Sun Jinggai would definitely not believe him. Thinking of this method, Wu Chenshin felt that he was really a genius. He killed people without being noticed and set a trap for his opponent without them knowing it, letting him fall into it. Ah! Brother Chenshin wants to treat him to a meal. Xiao Wangba couldn't believe his ears. Yes. In a moment, do me a favor. Once he has any intimate actions with that woman, take a picture with your mobile phone, Wu Chenshin instructed. Okay, Xiao Wangba and others nodded repeatedly. Only Wang Xinayan frowned, not understanding what Wu Chenshin was planning. Lin Yi, after giving the instructions, Wu Chenshin walked quickly towards Lin Yi. Lin Yi didn't expect to meet an acquaintance here. He turned around and saw Wu Chenshin. He thought to himself, is this kid dissatisfied and came here to cause trouble for him? What's the matter? Lin Yi glanced at him, but his eyes fell on Wang Xinayan, who was not far behind Wu Chenshin. This made Lin Yi even more surprised. Why did Wang Xinian mix with Wu Chenshin and others? Moreover, in addition to Wang Xinian, Lin Yi saw another familiar face, Kang Xiaolong. Brother Lin Yi, I'm so sorry for offending you just now. Wu Chenshin gritted his teeth and pretended to be very apologetic and said to Lin Yi, my grandfather has already taught me a lesson. I hope you don't mind. Oh, I don't have time to mind with small people. I still don't even remember your name. Lin Yi glanced at him, waved his hand and said, your name is Wu Tishao, right? A trace of annoyance flashed across Wu Chenshin's face, but he quickly concealed it. Oh, my name is Wu Chenshin. You can also call me Wu Tishao. After all, our family practices Iron Hand Kung Fu. Chapter 509. The name is too domineering. Okay, are you okay? Lin Yi glanced at Wu Chenshin and turned to leave. Wait, how could Wu Chenshin let Lin Yi leave like this? How would he carry out his subsequent plan? He quickly stopped Lin Yi and said, I see you are going to have a midnight snack, right? To express my apology, I am going to treat you to a meal. No, we can just go by ourselves. Lin Yi rejected Wu Chenshin's proposal indifferently. Otherwise, if you don't go, my conscience will definitely be uneasy. I already know my mistakes, and knowing mistakes can lead to great improvements, Wu Chenshin said. Give me some face. Lin Yi glanced at Wang Xinian not far away and found that she was looking at him with a hint of expectation in her eyes. He was suddenly confused. Could it be that Wang Xinian wanted him to have dinner with them? And what was the relationship between Wang Xinian and Wu Chenshin? Thinking of this, Lin Yi hesitated. If it was just Wu Chenshin inviting him to dinner, Lin Yi wouldn't have been interested in going at all. But with Wang Xinian around, the situation was different. Before Lin Yi could even open his mouth, Feng Xiaoxiao spoke first. You want to treat us to dinner? Yes, Xiaoxiao sister. I'm so sorry for offending you before. Wu Chenshin already knew Feng Xiaoxiao's special background and naturally didn't want to offend her, so he stopped looking at her with such a frown. Is that so? Then I'll give you a chance to make amends. What do you say, Lin Yi? Feng Xiaoxiao winked at Lin Yi. Lin Yi was slightly stunned, wondering what Feng Xiaoxiao was up to. But when this girl showed this expression, it meant someone was going to be in trouble. Feng Xiaoxiao had also had this expression on her face several times before when she targeted him, but now, the unlucky person was probably Wu Chenshin. So he nodded. Okay, then I'll listen to you. Seeing that Lin Yi agreed, Wu Chenshin was immediately overjoyed. Then let's go. It's my treat today. You can order whatever you want, and we will resolve the misunderstanding. Oh, we are going to the rooftop of Songjiang International Hotel for a midnight snack. Then let's go there. Feng Xiaoxiao nodded and said naturally. Huh? Wu Chenshin was stunned. He had only been to the third and fourth floors of Songjiang International Hotel, which were already very luxurious. A table cost him tens of thousands of yuan. If it was the rooftop, how much would it cost? Although he had never been there, he could imagine it. So, Wu Chenshin hesitated again. Originally, he was planning to take the Xiao brothers and Kang Xiao along to the lobby on the first floor. With Lin Yi, they would at most go to the private room on the second floor. A table of food and drinks would cost tens of thousands of yuan at most. However, he didn't expect Feng Xiaoxiao to ask to go to the rooftop. Huh? What's wrong with you? Feng Xiaoxiao looked at Wu Chenshin's discolored face with a hint of surprise. Why did your face change color? Don't you practice Iron Hand Kung Fu? Is your face also Iron Face? Of course not. Huh. Wu Chenshin forced a smile and said, then let's go to the rooftop to eat. Great. I haven't been there yet. I must eat my fill and see for myself, Feng Xiaoxiao exclaimed in delight. Feng Xiaoxiao had only heard that the rooftop restaurant was as luxurious as a palace and that the chefs were world-class, but she had never been there. Even though Feng Xianlong had a high annual salary, he couldn't possibly spend half of it on a fancy meal for Feng Xiaoxiao. So Feng Xiaoxiao thought she'd never see it before she died, but Wu Chenshin, the scapegoat, had just landed on her doorstep. Wu Chenshin was so angry that he wanted to curse. You've never been there, why are you arranging it? But the words had already been spoken. To take them back would defeat the purpose and make her lose face. Behind him were the Xiao brothers and Kang Xiaolong. How could he, the most prominent figure of the third generation of the Wu family, be looked down upon by them? Brother Chenshin, I heard that this top floor is as good as the Imperial Palace, and the bowls used for serving rice are all inlaid with diamonds. Although Xiao Wangba also longed for the luxurious restaurant on the top floor, It was not something that ordinary people could afford. What if Wu Chenshin didn't have the money to pay the bill? So he quickly reminded him in a low voice, "Isn't it a bit too expensive?" Although Xiao Wangba's voice was not loud, Lin Yi and Feng Xiaoxiao still heard it. Feng Xiaoxiao immediately said, "So expensive? I didn't know this before. How about we go by ourselves and not let Brother Chenshin spend the money?" Feng Xiaoxiao's words not only did not have the desired effect, but instead irritated Wu Chenshin. After all, he was a child of an aristocratic family. How could he be looked down upon? If he couldn't even afford a meal, wouldn't it be laughable? So he waved his hand generously. "This is nothing, it's just a small amount of money. I said it's my treat, you can order whatever you like when you go there. I have to say, Brother Chenshin, you are really generous. My boyfriend is not as generous as you." Feng Xiaoxiao waved her fist happily, which made Wu Chenshin's heart flutter. However, he also knew that he was pursuing Sun Jinggai. If he was fickle again, he would definitely not end well. Although Feng Xiaoxiao was extremely beautiful, she was not to be provoked, especially since her father was Feng Xianlong. Wu Chenshin would not take the initiative to provoke her. He was even happier when he heard Feng Xiaoxiao say that Lin Yi was her boyfriend. He had suspected the relationship between Feng Xiaoxiao and Lin Yi before, but now it was confirmed. It would be easy to deal with, and it was worth spending so much money on the treat. Thinking of this, Wu Chenshin felt a little more at ease and said to Lin Yi, "Let me introduce you to a few friends. These two are Xiao Wangba and Xiao Wangdao from the Xiao family." "Huh?" Feng Xiaoxiao's eyes widened. "Wow, aren't the names of the two brothers too domineering? Especially Xiao Wangba, he's so domineering." Of course, Xiao Wangba nodded. He thought Feng Xiaoxiao was praising him, so he naturally didn't hear the sarcasm in Feng Xiaoxiao's tone. Feng Xiaoxiao was calling him a little turtle. "Our names, together, mean domineering." Xiao Wangdao also nodded, not hearing the slightest hint of sarcasm in Feng Xiaoxiao's tone. It's no wonder, though. The Xiao family was once at its peak, and the old man was still alive. So even if someone thought Xiao Wangba's name had a homophonic sound, they wouldn't have spoken out. Now that the Xiao family had just collapsed, naturally no one had the time to say it. Only Wang Zinayan heard Feng Xiaoxiao's sarcasm and couldn't help but smiled with her hands covering her mouth, which made Kang Xiaolong fall in love with her. "Zinayan, there's another girl here. I was worried that you would be embarrassed, but now you have someone to accompany you." Wang Zinayan didn't say anything, but just looked at Lin Yi silently, feeling a little disappointed in her heart. She didn't know whether it was because she saw him and Feng Xiaoxiao together, or because she was disgusted by this kind of occasion. Chapter 510 This meal is not in vain. Welcome. Several people passed through the VIP-only passage and arrived at the top-floor elevator entrance. Each elevator entrance had its own separate entrance, a gesture of respect. As soon as they entered, two waiters, a man and a woman, bowed respectfully. Both were handsome and beautiful, like a golden couple, every bit as charming as movie stars. This gave Wu Chenshin a sudden start. If the doorman was so good, wouldn't the place inside be even more exclusive? He wasn't sure if he had enough money, but he figured it should be enough. Wu Chenshin had over 100,000 yuan in his bank account. Although he was a leader of the younger generation of the Wu family, the family wasn't wealthy, so his pocket money was naturally controlled. "Brother Chenshin, look at this hallway, it's all so resplendent. Are we really going in?" Xiao Wangba was also worried. If Wu Chenshin didn't have the money to pay, he wouldn't be asked to pay. "Why are you talking so much nonsense? I'm already here." Wu Chenshin frowned. Although he was scared, he refused to give in. "I told you it was my treat, why are you still so nosy? Do you look down on me, Wu Chenshin?" "No," Xiao Wangba said, feeling embarrassed. "Brother Chenshin, Wangba doesn't look down on you. He's doing this for your own good. He's worried that you don't have enough money." Feng Xiaoxiao suddenly interrupted. "He means well." Wu Chenshin was immediately annoyed. How could Feng Xiaoxiao talk like that? What did he mean by being worried about not having enough money? Turning around, he saw Feng Xiaoxiao looking at him innocently, without a trace of contempt or ridicule on her face. He was immediately confused. Could it be that Feng Xiaoxiao wasn't actually mocking him, but just explaining Xiao Wangba's point? "I know he means well, but I, Wu Chenshin, am the first heir to the Wu family. How could I be broke?" "What a joke," Wu Chenshin could only explain gloomily, without a hint of temper. Lin Yi gave Feng Xiaoxiao a strange look, somewhat amused. He hadn't expected Feng Xiaoxiao to be so good at playing the fool. Yet, how could Brother Chenshin be broke? I'm just too inexperienced to see him that way. Xiao Wangba realized his good intentions had backfired, and quickly explained, I'm truly a frog in a well. That's not the case. Wu Chenshin was delighted to hear Xiao Wangba's words. He waved his hand generously, saying, it's normal you haven't been to the top floor. In fact, I've only been there once, with Grandpa. It's expensive, but it's justified. It's expensive for a reason. Brother Chenshin, you know so much? Hey, I have a boyfriend, otherwise, I'd be in love with you, Feng Xiaoxiao said admiringly after hearing Wu Chenshin's words. Puff, Lin Yi nearly burst out laughing, but thankfully, he had strong self-control. His expression only looked strange for a moment before returning to normal. After hearing Feng Xiaoxiao's words, Wu Chenshin felt so elated that he almost lost himself. Although he couldn't touch Feng Xiaoxiao, he was delighted to be praised by her. It was a wonderful thing to be recognized by a beautiful woman. Your boyfriend isn't bad either, Wu Chenshin said with a smile, but good men always have affairs. You have to be careful and keep a close eye on him. Wu Chenshin said this as a joke, but it was actually a reminder for Feng Xiaoxiao to keep an eye on Lin Yi. Wu Chenshin felt like a genius. He could use just one conversation to bring up something helpful. Now that Feng Xiaoxiao had her eye on Lin Yi, how could he possibly approach Sun Jinggai? Yes, I'll definitely be careful then, Feng Xiaoxiao nodded seriously. Wu Chenshin was even happier to see Feng Xiaoxiao listen so well to him. Today's dinner was worth it. Not only could he show Sun Jinggai proof that Lin Yi was with another girl, but he could also convince Feng Xiaoxiao to keep an eye on Lin Yi. Feng Xiaoxiao's father is no ordinary man. Once I reveal this news to Feng Xianlong, even if Lin Yi wants to, he won't be able to shake him off. Who knows if he'll even have time to mess with Sun Jinggai. Led by a girl prettier than a movie star, the group arrived at a private room. Wu Chenshin naturally took the first seat. Lin Yi sat next to Feng Xiaoxiao, and Feng Xiaoxiao sat next to Wang Zinayan. Just as Xiao Wangba had predicted, the tableware was made of pure gold, and the decorative vase in the center was encrusted with diamonds. If it weren't made of zircon but real diamonds, this vase would be worth at least 1 million. Wu Chenshin, after all, had seen the world. His expression faltered slightly before returning to normal. These items were just tableware and decorative items. While expensive, they weren't consumables. Excuse me, may we start ordering? A waiter entered, glanced at Wu Chenshin at the first seat, and asked respectfully. Yes, you can order. Wu Chenshin waved his hand. Since he was treating guests, he naturally had to act like one. Ladies first. Although Xiao Wangba also wanted to order a few dishes, he hesitated for a moment and handed the menu to Feng Xiaoxiao and Wang Zinayan. The price of the dishes on this top floor must be shockingly expensive. If Wu Chenshin doesn't have money to pay after he orders the dishes, it will be a disaster for him to pay for the dishes he ordered. This kind of thing is not unheard of. Let me order, let me order. Feng Xiaoxiao took the menu and started to look through the menu. After turning a few pages, his face turned bitter. I won't order anymore. Why are the dishes here so expensive? A simple ordinary dish costs hundreds of yuan. Originally, when Wu Chenshin heard Feng Xiaoxiao say that the dishes were expensive, his heart skipped a beat, but when he heard Feng Xiaoxiao say hundreds of yuan, he found it a little funny. Is it too expensive to think that hundreds of yuan is expensive? This dish costing hundreds of yuan is really not expensive. Think about people like us. Ordering 10 dishes will only cost tens of thousands of yuan. It's nothing at all. So he waved his hand generously. It's okay, just order whatever you want. Although the price of the dishes here is a little more expensive than other places, it's still fair. Last time when I came here to eat with my grandfather, even my grandfather said that such high-end service and such cheap prices are totally worth it. Wow. Brother Chenshin doesn't think such expensive dishes are expensive? You are so capable. Feng Xiaoxiao looked at Wu Chenshin with stars in her eyes, but she was a little embarrassed. You are not my boyfriend. I feel embarrassed to let you spend money. How about we go Dutch? Chapter 511 Feng Xiaoxiao orders food. What's the day? Wu Chenshin waved his hands. Aren't you insulting me? This little money is nothing. Back then, My grandfather and I ordered a few of their signature dishes, and it didn't cost us much, is that so? Pengzhan said admiringly. Then I'll order. Well, go ahead, Wu Chenshin thought to himself. It seems girls like guys who act cool. His strategy for pursuing Sun Jinggai was flawed. Previously, he'd always been careful about his demeanor, pretending to be polite in front of her. But seeing Pengzhan's reaction today, Wu Chenshin decided it was better to act cool. His pretentiousness would make Pengzhan, who already had a boyfriend, look at him with new eyes. Wu Chenshin felt like he'd been enlightened, and he felt even more that today's meal was worth it. Not only did he achieve his goal, but he also learned some skills to pick up girls, something that's priceless. Oh, these signature dishes, one of each, Pengzhan said to the waiter, pointing to the dishes on the first page of the menu. Okay, but are you sure you want one of each? The waiter repeated carefully. Because, each of the signature dishes on the first page was not cheap, with a minimum price of 500,000, and the raw materials were all airlifted in from abroad that day. Brother Chenshin, which of the signature dishes here is delicious? Haven't you tried them all? How about we just pick a few? Pengzhan looked up at Wu Chenshin and asked cautiously, I think it's a bit wasteful to order too many. The signature dishes here are all good. I've tried them all, and they were equally good. Then order one of each. Where had Wu Chenshin ever eaten any signature dishes? If he was asked to say it at this time, he naturally couldn't say it. In order to save face, he could only pretend that he had eaten them all and let Pengzhan order them all. Could he still say that he had never eaten them and didn't know which one was delicious? Seeing Wu Chenshin confirm everything, the waiter naturally stopped asking questions. It was obvious that Wu Chenshin was the one treating today, and since he was a rather arrogant and domineering man, with a certain air of dandy, the waiter wasn't worried he wouldn't be able to pay. Okay, please continue. The waiter noted down the signature dishes and politely gestured to Pengzhan. I'm not really good at ordering here, so could you recommend some good dishes? I love seafood, Pengzhan said. Hearing Pengzhan's words, Wu Chenshin breathed a sigh of relief. While seafood might be expensive, it wasn't terribly so. For ordinary people, it was a top-notch delicacy, but for these children of aristocratic families, it was nothing special. What was the most expensive thing? It was, of course, rare and precious things. He was really worried that Pengzhan would start asking for rare animals or something, that would be truly expensive. As for seafood, we have Hokkaido abalone, Australian lobster, and Devon crab. These are all our signature seafood. Madam, which grade would you like? Hokkaido abalone is divided into, the waiter was about to introduce, but was interrupted by Pengzhan. Brother Chenshin, why don't we have something cheaper, similar to the ones sold at street stalls? Pengzhan said a little embarrassedly. We have already ordered so many signature dishes before, why don't we order some cheap seafood now? What cheap? Let's have the best. Wu Chenshin waved his hand. Thinking, how expensive can seafood be? It's not like he hasn't eaten seafood in those 5-star hotels before, and a meal would cost only 10 or 20,000. Okay, the best Hokkaido abalone is, the waiter nodded and was about to introduce. I said I want the best, what do you mean? Do you think I haven't eaten it before? Wu Chenshin was suddenly a little annoyed. The waiter kept introducing it back and forth. Didn't he look down on him? He immediately felt humiliated, and he snapped impatiently. Excuse me, sir, the waiter apologized hastily. He'd wanted to reiterate the quality of their seafood, like the Hokkaido abalone, which was considered top quality. He'd wanted to boast about his restaurant's quality, but the table's host clearly wasn't having it. Then, give me one portion of each of these seafood. I'll just try them myself. Well, I've never tasted anything so delicious. My life has been worth living, and even dying for it is worth it. Pengzhan gave Wu Chenshin a grateful look. What do you mean one portion? One per person. Good things are for everyone to enjoy, Wu Chenshin said to the waiter. In addition to the signature dishes and seafood, please give us a few side dishes. Don't make them too cheap, at least they should complement these. Even though Wu Chenshin said this, he was thinking, how expensive could ordinary side dishes be? Even if they were more upscale, a few vegetarian dishes would cost hundreds or even thousands of yuan. Okay, the waiter said, nodding, indicating he'd made a note. She had already figured out that the guests at this table were quite forthright, likely quite wealthy, and didn't like her talking too much. Anything else? Shall we serve the food now, Brother Chenshin? Would you like some drinks? Xiao Wangba reminded Wu Chenshin. Here, some red wine, Wu Chenshin said to the waiter. 1982 Lafite, okay, the waiter said, perplexed. While the 1982 Lafite was considered a fine wine, it was nothing compared to the previous dishes, which seemed a bit out of place with the 1982 Lafite. However, the waiter, sensing Wu Chenshin's temper, didn't dare ask. Perhaps he simply preferred the 1982 Lafite. After the waiter left, Wu Chenshin said, "It's fate that we met today. Let me introduce him to everyone. This is Lin Yi. Brother Lin Yi and I had some minor conflicts before, but the fact that Brother Lin Yi can come to this dinner also shows his attitude. And this is his girlfriend Pengzhan Group, Kang Xiaolong." Kang Xiaolong also stood up at this time and stretched out his hand to Lin Yi. "Brother Lin Yi, we have met before." Lin Yi smiled faintly, but did not stretch out his hand. "Do you think we need to shake hands?" Kang Xiaolong was a little annoyed by Lin Yi's words, but he was a person who knew how to endure. First, he didn't know Lin Yi's background clearly, and secondly, he had to cooperate with Wu Chenshin, and it was impossible for him to fall out with Lin Yi, so he smiled and said, "Brother Lin Yi, it seems that there are some misunderstandings with my brother. On behalf of Xiaoming, I would like to apologize to you. Xiaoming is like that. He has been spoiled by his family since he was a child. Brother Lin Yi, don't mind." Chapter 512 Exercise. I never bother with idiots. There was no way Lin Yi could resolve his grudge with Kang Xiaolong, let alone Kang Xiaoming. Xiaofan had been so badly betrayed by Kang Xiaoming, it was a good thing Lin Yi didn't just set his house on fire. Lin Yi was a man who held grudges. If it weren't for his mission, it was doubtful whether Kang Xiaolong would even be standing here and talking. Kang Xiaolong's face suddenly changed, looking a little grim. Wang Xinyan's beautiful eyes curved as she glanced at Lin Yi stealthily, a faint smile playing on her lips, whether it was admiration or amusement. Lin Yi had always been curious about Wang Xinyan's relationship with Kang Xiaolong. He had previously thought they were familiar, but now it seemed otherwise. Wang Xinyan was intentionally or unintentionally mocking Xiao Wangba and Kang Xiaolong, which made Lin Yi somewhat puzzled. Ahem, Wu Chenshin coughed. He had finally managed to invite Lin Yi here today, intending to use this opportunity to expose his relationship with Pengzhan Group to Sun Jingai, and naturally, he wouldn't let Kang Xiaolong ruin it. Kang Xiaolong took a deep breath, knowing he couldn't get angry at Wu Chenshin's banquet. He could only sit back, sullen, deeply annoyed by Lin Yi's lack of respect. Today's supposed to be a happy day. Don't let these unhappy moments ruin the mood. Wu Chenshin smoothed things over. Brother Lin Yi, you and Pengzhan Group are a perfect match. Before Lin Yi could say anything, Pengzhan Group said cheerfully, "You think so too?" "Yes, Xiao. When did you two get together?" Wu Chenshin asked calmly. "A few days, I guess," Pengzhan Group calculated. "Is that so?" Wu Chenshin suddenly realized. Could it be that Lin Yi and Sun Jingai broke up, and that's why he got together with Pengzhan Group? This would save him a lot of trouble, but just to be safe, he still planned to reveal Lin Yi and Pengzhan Group's relationship to Sun Jingai. Lin Yi remained silent, quietly observing Pengzhan Group and Wu Chenshin's every move. Lin Yi was a little confused about Pengzhan Group's attitude. Logically speaking, Pengzhan Group was not the type of person she is now, and she would not flatter Wu Chenshin. Based on Lin Yi's past experience, Pengzhan Group was a very vengeful person, otherwise she would not have troubled him again and again. And Pengzhan Group had just made enemies with Wu Chenshin at the auction, so how could she act like nothing happened in the blink of an eye? Judging from the way she ordered the dishes, she was probably trying to trick Wu Chenshin in various ways. Wu Chenshin's attitude also made Lin Yi a little confused. If he said that he apologized to him, Lin Yi would naturally not believe it. Unless Wu Chenshin was crazy, it would be impossible for him to take the initiative to treat him to a meal and apologize. There must be something wrong with the unexpected. Although Lin Yi had not figured out his true intentions, since he was here, he might as well wait and see. I have to say, the service at the top restaurant was quite good. Shortly after we ordered, the waiter laid out the delicacies on the table. In addition to the special dishes Pengzhan Group had ordered, abalone, lobster, and crab were also served. Wow, I've never had such a sumptuous meal since I was a child, Pengzhan Group exclaimed like a country bumpkin. Oh, Then eat more. Wu Chenshin's vanity was greatly satisfied. He thought to himself that Lin Yi was far inferior to him. And he didn't know why Sun Jingai was attracted to Lin Yi. Judging from Feng Xiaoxiao's expression, Lin Yi probably hadn't even treated her to a good meal. Yet, that was right. It must be because he didn't know how to act cool. He had originally thought that Sun Jingai, born into a wealthy family, must have everything she wanted and had seen everything, but now it seemed that wasn't necessarily the case. As long as he acted cool in front of Sun Jingai more often, he wouldn't have to worry about or dislike him. Then I won't be polite. Feng Xiaoxiao took the abalone in front of him, picked up the fork and started eating, not caring about others. After taking 2 bites, he exclaimed, "This abalone is really delicious. It's the first time I've eaten such a big abalone." "That's nothing," Wu Chenshin waved his hand and said proudly, "This abalone is only eaten casually on my family's dining table. The abalone we eat during the Chinese New Year is much bigger than this. This is a single head abalone. The one we eat at home is half-head abalone." "Huh? There are half-head abalone? Brother Chenshin, you are really amazing. You have eaten everything," Feng Xiaoxiao exclaimed. "In that case, give me your share too. You can always eat it anyway. This is the first time I have eaten it in my life." "Okay, no problem." Wu Chenshin shuddered in his heart and cursed himself for being too talkative. What the hell was he going to eat? This single-head abalone was the best. It was good enough to have a small piece during the Chinese New Year. How could he eat it every day? But the words had been said, how could he go back on his word? Gritting his teeth, Wu Chenshin could only give his share of abalone to Feng Xiaoxiao. However, he consoled himself in his heart that he was being so pretentious now, and he could just treat it as practice so that he could be proficient in pretending in front of Sun Jingai in the future. Really? That's great. Hey, these 2 aren't too many. I'm a little reluctant to eat them. Although Feng Xiaoxiao said this, the fork in her hand was not idle, and she kept stuffing the delicious food into her mouth. Feng Xiaoxiao had come here with the intention of tricking Wu Chenshin. Who was he and his grandfather for doing that to him at the auction before? If not tricking him, who else would he trick? Besides, Feng Xiaoxiao had never tasted such high-end food before. If she didn't eat enough this time, she didn't know if she would be able to eat it before she died. So Feng Xiaoxiao didn't care about her image at all, and ate her fill first. This rubbish is nothing in the eyes of us children from aristocratic families. Wu Chenshin continued to practice pretending. He found that his pretense skills were getting better and better, and he didn't even blink when he was boasting. His heart was suddenly excited, but he still kept calm on the surface. "Wangba, don't you think so?" "Yes. These seafoods and the like are just ordinary stuff in the eyes of us children from aristocratic families. Too bland. If we want to eat them, we usually eat things like red-crowned cranes." The Xiao family is 1 level lower than the Wu family. How could they eat such high-end things often? Even when the old man of the Xiao family was alive, he might not have eaten them many times. However, in order to cooperate with Wu Chenshin, Xiao Wangba naturally talked nonsense. "Oh? What is a red-crowned crane? Is there any here? I want to eat it too." Feng Xiaoxiao asked in surprise after hearing it. Xiao Wangba was stunned. He was just talking casually. There are only a few red-crowned cranes in the world. He has never even seen one, let alone eaten it. Feng Xiaoxiao also wants to eat red-crowned cranes. Where can he get them? Even if he can get them, he will be shot. It's a protected animal. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 513. How about you sponsor me a little? Ahem, the crested ibis is a top-tier, rare animal. Of course, we can't have it here. This restaurant is too low-class. Wu Chenshin glared at Xiao Wangba and explained with a cough. Is that so? Then I'll have the abalone. Feng Xiaoxiao naturally didn't expose Wu Chenshin and Xiao Wangba. Instead, she said to Xiao Wangba, "Wangba, since you've even tried the crested ibis, this abalone must be pretty common. Give me some, too." "Huh?" Xiao Wangba had already been salivating over the abalone, but since Wu Chenshin hadn't touched his chopsticks yet, he naturally hesitated. Hearing Feng Xiaoxiao's words, he was suddenly in a dilemma. "What's wrong, Wangba? Why do you look like that? Are you reluctant to give it to me? Pengzhan Xiao blinked, looking at Xiao Wangba innocently and endearingly. Of course not. He's just surprised that you think such a piece of junk is precious. Haha, right, Wangba. Wu Chenshin glared at Xiao Wangba again. That's right. Xiao Wangba's heart was bleeding, and he wanted to slap himself in the face. Why was he so mean? You don't want Brother Wang Gao's anymore, right? Give it all to me, Pengzhan Xiao asked. Xiao Wangao was secretly glad that he didn't say too much, and he would have some good food in a while, but he didn't expect that Pengzhan Xiao would take the initiative when he didn't say anything. He was so angry that he wanted to ask Pengzhan Xiao, "Can you eat it?" However, for Wu Chenshin, he could only reluctantly give it up. Of course, I'll give it all to you, but you can't eat too much seafood. If you eat too much, you will have diarrhea. Oh, it's okay, it's better if you have diarrhea. I'll continue to eat after I finish, Pengzhan Xiao said seriously. It's just right to empty some space in my stomach. Lin Yi almost couldn't help it. This Pengzhan Xiao is really amazing. She dares to say anything. But thinking about the fact that she even dared to enter the men's restroom, Lin Yi didn't think it was strange. But looking at Pengzhan Xiao from an outsider's perspective today, Lin Yi felt that Pengzhan Xiao still had a lovely side. Wu Chenshin suddenly lost his appetite. Looking at the table full of delicious dishes, he felt sick. He hadn't even tasted such a table full of delicious dishes. Even if all the top-quality seafood were given to Pengzhan Xiao, he could at least try some of the other signature dishes, right? As a result, after being messed up by Pengzhan Xiao, he had to go to the toilet and poop. How could he still eat? Wu Chenshin was a little annoyed that he had brought his Xiao brothers out with him. What the hell was that? They were incapable of doing anything good and were only good at causing trouble. Two idiots. But then he thought about it and looked at it from another perspective. Having these two idiots around could also help him practice his ability to act cool and adaptable. There's still some truth to the saying that talents emerge in adversity. You won't eat these lobsters either? Give them to me too. Pengzhan Xiao finished 3 abalones in a few bites. No one knew where they went. Even if seafood didn't take up space, it would still be a lot to eat so much. Okay, I'll give it all to you. Eat slowly, Wu Chenshin said, looking at Lin Yi and said, Brother Lin Yi, I'm not saying anything bad, but you treat your girlfriend too badly, don't you? How can you do this? Wu Chenshin was so excited that he immediately lost his mind and went straight to pretend to be cool with Lin Yi. It seemed that he was already used to pretending to be cool, and he was already pretending all the time. I'm poor, how about you sponsor me a little? I'll treat her to a meal every day, Lin Yi shrugged. Wu Chenshin realized that he was pretending to be in the wrong place. How could he say such a thing to Lin Yi? He immediately felt a little regretful and thought to himself, am I a fool? Why should I sponsor you a little? What does it have to do with me whether you treat her or not? However, all Wu Chenshin could say was, sure, let's just eat together more often from now on. Pengzhan Xiao, however, didn't care about anything else and devoured everything she could think of. Her mouth was slick with oil, and before the wine even arrived, she'd already devoured 2 crabs, 3 lobsters, and 3 abalone. Her speed was truly astonishing. The wine finally arrived, but Pengzhan Xiao had already devoured half of the seafood on the table, leaving Wu Chenshin feeling a bit overwhelmed. This wine was meant to be enjoyed with seafood, and now that the seafood was gone, what was the point of drinking it? After the waiter poured everyone a glass of wine, Wu Chenshin raised his glass pretentiously. Lin Yi, here, let me toast you and Pengzhan Xiao. I wish you a long and happy marriage. Oh, okay, wait a minute, I need to finish this crab claw. Pengzhan Xiao quickly finished a crab claw before raising her glass. Lin Yi saw Wu Chenshin wink at Xiao Wangba, who then took out his phone and pointed it at himself and Pengzhan Xiao. Only then did Lin Yi understand Wu Chenshin's intention. This guy wanted to take a picture of himself and Pengzhan Xiao together? Lin Yi suddenly felt a little funny. Wu Chenshin took the picture. He must have wanted to show it to Sun Jinggai, wanting Sun Jinggai to see his face clearly. But how could he know that there was nothing between him and Sun Jinggai in the first place, and that the boyfriend before was just a fake? This guy even treated her to a big dinner in all seriousness. If he knew the truth, he would probably be in tears. After knowing Wu Chenshin's purpose, Lin Yi dealt with it casually. After drinking a few glasses of red wine, He suddenly felt the phone in his pocket vibrate. It must be a text message. Lin Yi took out his phone and took a look, but was a little surprised to find that the text message was from Wang Xinayan. They want to take a picture of you and Feng Xiaoxiao. After reading the text, Lin Yi glanced in Wang Xinayan's direction in surprise. He hadn't expected Wang Xinayan to tip him off. So, which side was she on? However, Wang Xinayan didn't look in his direction. She just sat there quietly, not eating, as if none of this had anything to do with her. Lin Yi smiled faintly. It seemed that Wang Xinayan's relationship with Kang Xiaolong, Wu Chenshin, and the others was quite complicated. He typed a text message and replied, "I know. How are you with him?" After sending the message, Wang Xinayan didn't check her phone immediately. Instead, she waited a moment before opening it and taking a look. She quickly tapped on the keypad and then put it away. Lin Yi's phone vibrated. This time, Lin Yi imitated Wang Xinayan's behavior and waited a moment before pulling out his phone and reading Wang Xinayan's text. "My family asked me to get engaged to Kang Xiaolong." After reading Wang Xinayan's text, Lin Yi couldn't help but frown. Engaged to Kang Xiaolong? Frankly speaking, Lin Yi didn't want to see Wang Xinayan get too close to the Kang family. After all, he and Wang Xinayan had known each other for a while, and there was a little bit of an ambiguous connection between them. Furthermore, Lin Yi and the Kang family already had an irreconcilable hatred. In Lin Yi's eyes, the Kang family could be destroyed at any time, so he naturally didn't want Wang Xinayan to be implicated. Chapter 514 I Want to Pack Up. After hesitating for a moment, Lin Yi sent a text message to Wang Xinayan, "Don't get too close to the Kang family, they are going to be ruined." Wang Xinayan was so shocked when she read Lin Yi's text message that her mouth was shaped like a zero, and she could fit an egg in it. She never expected Lin Yi to remind her so bluntly. The Kang family is going to be ruined? Why is the Kang family going to be ruined? Although Wang Xinayan didn't like the people in the Kang family, she also saw a thriving Kang family, but she didn't understand why the Kang family would suddenly be ruined. Could it be that this matter was related to Lin Yi? Thinking of this, Wang Xinayan's heart tightened, and her chest was beating like a deer. Did Lin Yi tell her this because he trusted her? Wasn't he afraid that she would tell Kang Xiaolong? Or was he doing this just for her? Did he see that she was not satisfied with this marriage? Or, he was just himself? Wang Xinayan blushed slightly, took a deep breath, and carefully glanced around, only to find Kang Xiaolong wasn't paying any attention to her. At that moment, Kang Xiaolong, trying to please Wu Chenshin, was also fiddling with his phone, taking pictures of Lin Yi and Feng Xiaoxiao. Everyone at the table was holding a phone, so it didn't seem out of place for Wang Xinayan and Lin Yi to pull out theirs. "I don't like him, don't mess around." Wang Xinayan hesitated, then typed a text message and sent it to Lin Yi. But after sending it, she regretted it. Wasn't that a bit ambiguous? She hadn't meant to get Lin Yi into trouble, but now it seemed like she was eager to clarify something with him. "How?" Lin Yi smiled after reading the message and sent a reply, "Don't worry, he doesn't mess with me, and I don't have time for him." Wang Xinayan breathed a sigh of relief at Lin Yi's message, but also a bit surprised. Lin Yi's tone seemed so arrogant, which made Wang Xinayan even more curious about Lin Yi's identity. From the first time he met him on the train, to the second time they met on the shopping street, to the time they took the same plane a few days ago, and now they were having dinner at the same table, Lin Yi seemed to play a different role every time. "Brother Chenshin, they used to call you the Tishawu family, what's that about?" Feng Xiaoxiao ate for a while, suddenly remembered Wu Tishao, and asked curiously. When Wu Chenshin heard Feng Xiaoxiao's question, he was immediately delighted. It seemed that this meal was indeed worth it. This Feng Xiaoxiao was really a wonderful person, so understanding. He was just worried about having no place to practice his pretense, and now she had given him the opportunity to show off. However, Wu Chenshin no longer cared to practice ordinary pretense. He wanted to challenge a higher level. So, Wu Chenshin glanced at Xiao Wangba, motioning him to cooperate with him in pretending. You have to know that a successful pretender cannot do it alone, but also needs the cooperation of others to pretend to be at a high level and reach a certain level. Xiao Wangba immediately understood and said to Feng Xiaoxiao, "You don't know, do you? Brother Chenshin's family is a family of ancient martial artists. The martial arts they practice is called Iron Hand Kung Fu. It's quite powerful. They can crush iron with one hand." "Wow. That's amazing." Feng Xiaoxiao's eyes widened. Isn't that Superman? What's Superman? Compared to Brother Chenshin, he's just a one-trick pony. Xiao Wangba said. Then Brother Chenshin, can you show me how to do it? Let me see you, Feng Xiaoxiao said excitedly. Here's a vase. Crush it for me. Then, Feng Xiaoxiao pointed to the diamond-encrusted gold vase on the table. Huh? This? Wu Chenshin was stunned. The gold vase looked quite valuable. If he had broken it himself, he wouldn't have to pay for it, would he? Oh, is this thing too valuable? My bad. How about we find something cheaper? Feng Xiaoxiao said a little embarrassedly. Precious? What's so precious about it? This gold is too soft. I'm afraid I can't show off my true strength. Wu Chenshin waved his hand nonchalantly. Wow. So that's how it is. Then go ahead and pinch it. Let me see. Feng Xiaoxiao nodded and said, I knew it. Brother Chenshin comes from a first-rate family, so he must be incredibly wealthy. Why would he care about a broken vase? Of course. Wu Chenshin casually grabbed the vase on the table and squeezed it hard. The vase immediately deflated, and the diamonds fell out. Wow. 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 So handsome. Feng Xiaoxiao clapped her hands and cheered. Brother Chenshin, you're so handsome. You're truly the most powerful man in the world. Just okay. Wu Chenshin was very proud. He had just realized how effective pretending to be was. Not only did it satisfy his vanity, but it also made him a great pickup girl. Brother Chenshin, can you give me this vase as a souvenir? Every time I see it, I'll be reminded of your bravery, Feng Xiaoxiao said expectantly. No problem, no problem. Wu Chenshin casually handed the vase to Feng Xiaoxiao. Feng Xiaoxiao excitedly put it away, and also picked up the diamonds that fell from it. Xiao Wangba wanted to say something, but seeing Wu Chenshin's nonchalant look, he didn't say anything more. Thank you, Brother Chenshin. I think any girl will admire you after you show your iron hand skill. If I didn't already have a boyfriend, I would have wanted to go with you, Feng Xiaoxiao said excitedly with a red face. Wu Chenshin's heart was moved, and he almost said, it's okay if you have a boyfriend, just accompany me tonight. However, when he thought of Feng Xiaoxiao's identity and that she was Lin Yi's girlfriend, if he took her back, not only would Feng Xianlong not let him go, but it would also cause problems in his pursuit of Sun Jinggai, so he quickly gave up the idea. However, he said very proudly, this is not bad, I wouldn't use it easily before, so not many girls like me. Brother Chenshin, you are too modest, Feng Xiaoxiao praised, and continued to eat the delicacies on the table. After talking for a while, Feng Xiaoxiao was able to eat a lot more. Half an hour later, I'm full. Feng Xiaoxiao put the knife, fork and chopsticks on the table, took a long breath, then touched his lower abdomen and said, it's delicious, can I pack it up? Wu Chenshin thought to himself, we haven't eaten yet, and you want to pack it up? But think about it, he has achieved his goal today. Not only did he learn to use the tricks of pretending to be B, but he also took pictures of Lin Yi and Feng Xiaoxiao, which can be regarded as a great harvest. Thinking of this, Wu Chenshin shouted to the outside of the box, waiter, pack it up. Chapter 515 fainted from anger. After packing up Feng Xiaoxiao's food, Wu Chenshin went to pay. However, the bill stunned him. How much is this? Wu Chenshin stared at the bill in disbelief. Sir, your total bill is 15,037,000 yuan. Consider the change a discount, and I'll charge you 15 million yuan, the waiter said with a smile. 15 million, Wu Chenshin couldn't believe he'd spent 5 million yuan on a single meal. But then he saw the bill. Each of the signature dishes cost at least 10,000 yuan, with some costing as much as 300,000 or 400,000 yuan. The single hot abalone wasn't cheap either. The cheapest item was probably the bottle of 1982 Lafite he'd ordered. Even after reading the menu, Wu Chenshin was still puzzled. Did you miscalculate? It's only a little over 5 million yuan total. How did 10 million suddenly appear? Sir, you broke the vase on the table. It's worth 10 million yuan, the waiter explained calmly. 10 million yuan for a vase? Wu Chenshin was shocked. Yes, sir, the vase is inlaid with 6 4-carat diamonds, and the entire vase is made of pure gold. 10 million is just the cost, the waiter smiled and said, we have an appraisal certificate from an authoritative organization. Would you like to see it, sir? Wu Chenshin felt like crying. This was a bit too shady, wasn't it? But he also knew that such a high-end place couldn't be deliberately ripping him off. The price was what they said. Besides, a 4-carat diamond, if it was loose, would cost over 1 million. So 6 4-carat diamonds, plus a gold vase, for 10 million is really not expensive. He actually crushed it in a flash and gave it to Pengzhan. This made him crazy. The cost of pretending was too high. It seemed that he should not pretend casually in the future. Wu Chenshin saw that Lin Yi, Pengzhan, the Xiao brothers, Kang Xiaolong and the others had already walked over, so he could only hide his painful expression and deliberately said loudly, "We didn't eat much, but we only spent 15 million on all this. This restaurant is really cheap, really cheap." The Xiao brothers were stunned, thinking that the Wu family was really different from their own. They spent 15 million on a meal and still thought it was not enough. It was really extraordinary. "Ah, Brother Chenshin, you are really rich," Pengzhan exclaimed after hearing this. "Many people can't make 15 million in their entire lives, but you spent 15 million on a meal and still think it's not a lot. That's really cool." "That's right. This money, in the eyes of us children from aristocratic families, is nothing at all." Wu Chenshin has now formed a habit of pretending to be cool, and he pretends all the time, so he said this casually. "Can I get another portion of braised shark's fin to go? I wanted to order it, but I didn't dare to because I was afraid of the price." Pengzhan looked at Wu Chenshin pitifully and said, "I really want to try what shark's fin tastes like." "Yeah, no problem." Wu Chenshin broke out in a cold sweat. His family wasn't like other wealthy business families. The Wu family's annual income was only a few tens of millions, and on a good day, it would only reach hundreds of millions, and that was to support the family's expenses. So, the few 100,000 yuan of pocket money they had each year was gone. He had spent over 15 million on this meal. If Grandpa Wu Gongyao knew, he'd be furious. But if he didn't tell him, he really couldn't come up with the money. But that was secondary. He ordered a portion of shark's fin for Pengzhan, took it away, and sent her away. Then, with a gloomy face, he stood at the bar, thinking of a solution. By then, the Xiao brothers had also been sent downstairs by Wu Chenshin. Wu Chenshin hesitated and called his grandfather. "Hello? Grandpa, it's Chenshin," Wu Chenshin said cautiously. "What's up?" "I'm busy, tell me if you have something to say." Wu Gongyao had been pent up with Feng Xianlong, with nowhere to vent his anger. Of course, that wasn't the worst part. He went to his son-in-law, Liu Xianyi, to see if he could get the longevity and detoxification pill from him. To his surprise, his son-in-law insisted it was for Liu Xianhu's medical treatment and wouldn't be given to him. This left him both depressed and humiliated. So, even when his beloved grandson called, he still felt gloomy. "Grandpa, I'm having dinner at a restaurant and I don't have enough money," Wu Chenshin said weakly. "Why would you go eat if you don't have enough money? What were you thinking before you went?" Wu Gongyao snorted. "Don't you have your credit card?" "They don't accept credit cards there." "No, it's because there's a limit on the credit card." "It's not enough," Wu Chenshin said guiltily. "Not enough? How much did you spend?" "Isn't the limit on the credit card 200,000? Wu Gongyao's voice immediately rose an octave. 1,000, 1,000, Wu Chenshin was a little scared. This was the first time his grandfather had been so angry with him. 1,000 yuan? Your credit card can't even handle 1,000 yuan? How do you usually spend it? Wu Gongyao was furious. Wu Chenshin had actually maxed out his credit card. It's not 1,000 yuan. Wu Chenshin was a little timid. 200,000 yuan already infuriated his grandfather. If he said he spent 15 million, he would be furious. If it's not 1,000 yuan, how much is it? Wu Gongyao snorted. You're shameless enough. You ate 1,000 yuan worth of food and didn't even have money to pay for it. You really disgraced our Wu family. It was 15 million. Grandpa, I spent 15 million, Wu Chenshin gritted his teeth. This matter had to be explained. There was no point in dragging it out. What? What did you say? Wu Gongyao was a little confused after hearing Wu Chenshin's words. How much did you say you spent? 15 million, Wu Chenshin repeated. On the other end of the line, Wu Gongyao fell silent. Grandpa. Grandpa, Wu Chenshin called out a few times in confusion, but there was no answer. After just 2 shouts, there was a burst of noise from the other end of the phone, followed by Liu Xianyi's voice. Dad, what's wrong with you? Why did you suddenly faint? Wu Chenshin was startled. Grandpa fainted? He quickly shouted into the phone, Grandpa. Grandpa, however, There was nothing but noise on the other end of the phone. Wu Chenshin had no choice but to hang up the phone, looking at the waiter anxiously. Can I pay on credit first? I don't have any money with me. My grandpa fainted, and I have to go back to see him. Sorry, sir, we don't take credit here, the waiter said respectfully. Chapter 516 Kang Xiaolong's Evil Thoughts. I'm Wu Chenshin from the Tishawu family. I don't owe you this little money. Here's my ID card. I can pawn it here. I really have an emergency, Wu Chenshin said, somewhat frustrated. He hadn't expected his phone call to not only not bring him the money, but had actually made his grandfather faint in anger. Not knowing how his grandfather was doing, Wu Chenshin was anxious and wanted to check on him, but they wouldn't let him go, which made him anxious. I've heard of the Tisha Wu family, but there's no proof you're from the Wu family. Even if you are, don't you have a bank card? Or maybe you could call and have the money sent over, the waiter said calmly. Wu Chenshin was furious. Although the waiter was polite, it was clear he didn't believe he was from the Tisha Wu family. But Wu Chenshin had no way to argue. He did owe them money, so it was normal for them to be suspicious of him. Just when he was at a loss as to what to do, a figure quickly walked over and whispered, Brother Chenshin, what's wrong? Are you in trouble? The person who came was Kang Xiaolong. He had been paying attention to Wu Chenshin. Although he didn't say much at the banquet, Kang Xiaolong had the idea of making friends with the Wu family. At his age, it was impossible for him to get close to Wu Guang, but he could build a good relationship with Wu Chenshin. When he saw Wu Chenshin paying the bill here and not leaving for a long time, he thought that Wu Chenshin might have encountered some difficulties, so he sent the Xiao brothers and Wang Zinayan away first, and he returned. Compared to picking up girls, building a relationship with the Wu family seemed more important. Kang Xiaolong was a gloomy person by nature. He was able to restrain his desires at all times and put his own and his family's interests first. I left in such a hurry just now that I didn't bring any money with me. I ran into some trouble when paying the bill, and I was just thinking of finding a little brother to bring me the money. Wu Chenshin would naturally not admit that he had no money in front of Kang Xiaolong. He was used to pretending to be cool, and this moment was no exception. He said it in a boastful manner. Is that so? Then why did you call me? Kang Xiaolong laughed and said, I'm just your little brother, right? How much is it? Brother Chenshin, I'll pay for you. Wu Chenshin didn't expect Kang Xiaolong to say that. He immediately became a little excited. He patted Kang Xiaolong on the shoulder and said, Okay, good brother, you will follow me, Wu Chenshin, from now on. Don't worry. I said I'll treat you. How can I let you pay for this? But you pay for it first, and I'll give it to you when we get back. Okay, it's just a small amount of money. It doesn't matter. Kang Xiaolong had already seen that although Wu Chenshin was about the same age as him, he was actually a spoiled child. He didn't know how to restrain himself at all, and his character was full of arrogance. Without the Iron Han Wu family's identity, he'd be an idiot. And these kinds of people are the easiest to befriend. Kang Xiaolong smiled faintly, finding his bearings. How much is it in total, sir? It's 15 million yuan. The waiter, relieved to see someone paying the bill, remained respectful. Huh? How much? Kang Xiaolong was stunned, looking at the waiter with a strange expression. He'd assumed Wu Chenshin didn't have any money, but hadn't considered that he couldn't afford the bill. But now it seemed that wasn't the case. It was Wu Chenshin who couldn't pay. Sir, the total bill was 15 million yuan, the waiter repeated, a hint of suspicion building in his heart. These people were well dressed and looked like wealthy people, but were they just pretending? Were they trying to scam people? Okay, swipe it. Kang Xiaolong gritted his teeth, took out his bank card, and handed it to the waiter. As the head of the third generation of the Kang family, Kang Xiaolong naturally had no shortage of money. The Kang family's medical laboratory was also under his control, so he had a research budget of 20 million yuan a year. However, it was inevitable that he would feel the pain of spending 15 million yuan at once. Just thinking about the returns this investment would bring, it was worth it. At least it would establish a relationship with the Wu family. The waiter was relieved when he saw Kang Xiaolong hand over the bank card. He politely took the bank card, swiped it, and returned it to Kang Xiaolong. Sir, please keep it. Here are the receipt and invoice. Okay. Kang Xiaolong took back the bank card, glanced at the bill, and his face twitched twice. It would be fine if the 15 million yuan was all for the meal, but the bill clearly stated that there was 10 million yuan in compensation for the damage to the vase. Wasn't Wu Chenshin too wasteful? Just pinching him a little and he spent 10 million yuan? This price was simply too expensive. After collecting the bills, Kang Xiaolong pretended to be nonchalant and went downstairs with Wu Chenshin. Wu Chenshin said gratefully, "Xiaolong, you really solved my urgent problem. Those two guys from the Xiao family are just unreliable. They are no good, haha, they are also my relatives, so I can't say much," Kang Xiaolong said with a smile. "Yes, your two families are relatives," Wu Chenshin nodded. "Anyway, I accept you as my little brother. If you have any problems in the future, just ask. Our Wu family will support your Kang family." "Thank you so much," Kang Xiaolong said with a smile, but in his heart he began to plan a plan to make the Kang family prosper. Originally, if the Kang family could come up with a formula for the longevity and detoxification pill before this aristocratic family auction, even if only a small amount was produced, it would be a bargaining chip for the Kang family to upgrade to an aristocratic family. Once they become an aristocratic family, the level of contact they have will not only be at the current level, but at a higher level. They will be able to establish relationships with the hidden aristocratic families behind the Yu family. If they please them, they might send a guard to teach them martial arts. The Kang family will also become an ancient martial arts aristocratic family. At that time, if a master of the late Wang level or even the Zhuan level appears, no one will be able to shake the status of the Kang family. Dr. Kang, Kang Giffen, and Kang Xiaolong all know that a family that relies solely on wealth is too easy to decline. For example, the current Xiao family, although it has not been disqualified as an aristocratic family, is actually dead in name only. But if the Xiao family has a master like Wu Gongyao in charge, no one dares to underestimate them even if they are in decline. The annual gifts from other aristocratic families can support the whole family. What's more, no matter what business the Wu family does, everyone gives face. Isn't it because of Wu Gongyao, a Zhuan level master? Chapter 517. I wish you all a happy Mid-Autumn Festival. I also want to ask for your recommendation votes. Yuren wishes everyone a happy Mid-Autumn Festival. Also, I'd like to ask for your recommendation votes. If you have any, please cast a few. Thank you all. Chapter 518. Extreme joy leads to sorrow. However, the failure of their research on the longevity and detoxification pill shattered the Kang family's fantasy. They could only realistically establish a relationship with the Xiao family first, and then gradually advance to become a low-ranking aristocratic family. However, establishing a good relationship with the Yu family, or even contacting the hidden aristocratic family behind the Yu family, was nearly impossible. Now, Wu Chenshin's appearance had rekindled Kang Xiaolong's thoughts. If after the auction, his family applied to become an aristocratic family, with the Wu family's help, would it succeed? Of course, this was just Kang Xiaolong's idea, and he wouldn't reveal it to Wu Chenshin just yet. He would discuss it with his grandfather before making a final decision. For now, the only thing he needed to do was to build a good relationship with Wu Chenshin. "What are you thanking me for? You're my little brother, so of course I'll protect you," Wu Chenshin said casually. From now on, I'll just rely on you, boss. Don't bother me," Kang Xiaolong laughed. Of course, Wu Chenshin felt that Kang Xiaolong was truly a smart guy, much more clever than the two boys from the Xiao family. The two parted ways downstairs at the hotel. Kang Xiaolong wanted to go back and discuss the Kang family's application to become a noble family with his grandfather, while Wu Chenshin was anxious to see how his grandfather was doing. So, both of them had things to do and only agreed to contact each other by phone. Lin Yi and Feng Xiaoxiao left the restaurant. After the Xiao brothers left, Feng Xiaoxiao finally couldn't help but burst out laughing. Ha 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 ha. This is killing me. I'm dying of laughter. That Wu Chenshin is such an idiot. He's still pretending. He's so stupid. Ha ha ha. Feng Xiaoxiao clutched her stomach and squatted on the ground, laughing so hard she couldn't catch her breath. I'm making a killing this time. The vase and candlesticks on the table are worth millions. I can sell them and buy an Audi R8. Ho ha ho ha, I'm so happy. Lin Yi looked at Feng Xiaoxiao, who was panting with laughter, and couldn't help but find it a little funny too. Wu Chenshin must have been ripped off after this meal, and he didn't even realize it. This Feng Xiaoxiao was really deceiving. HMPH, you dare to go against me, Feng Xiaoxiao? This time is a light punishment. Next time, I'll make you bankrupt. Pengzhan Xiao continued to talk to herself. Lin Yi shook his head. Pengzhan Xiao really held a grudge. No wonder she always wanted to get back at him. It was just that she hadn't gotten anything out of him. However, Lin Yi did begin to understand Pengzhan Xiao somewhat. Born into a family like hers, motherless since childhood, with a father so busy with work that he had no time to care about Pengzhan Xiao's life, this shaped her rebellious character. While Pengzhan Xiao herself was partly responsible, her family environment was the primary cause. Have you laughed enough? Has your father come home? Lin Yi waited for a moment, but Pengzhan Xiao continued to laugh. Finally, Lin Yi couldn't help but ask, "Ha ha ha, you're such a jerk. Such a funny thing, and you still have a stern face." Pengzhan Xiao continued to laugh, almost unable to stop. There's nothing funny about it. He's not the only idiot in the world. If you kept laughing at everyone, you'd die of laughter, Lin Yi said flatly. Pengzhan Xiao was stunned and shook her head. She sometimes wondered if Lin Yi was the same age as her. No matter how she looked at Lin Yi, he didn't seem like someone of the same age. Sometimes, he was so calm that it was scary. She couldn't help but curl her lips. "You are so boring. You don't even laugh with me when something so joyful happens. I think your name is really right. How can I not laugh to death?" Lin Yi shrugged. Pengzhan Xiao was stunned, and then immediately thought, is Lin Yi praising or insulting herself by calling her Pengzhan Xiao? Oh, okay, I laughed. Where's your father? Lin Yi was concerned about Pengzhan Yulong's affairs. In his opinion, an idiot like Wu Chenshin deserved to be cheated. There was nothing funny about it. What a joke. Pengzhan Xiao was a little unhappy and snorted, "My dad won't be back until the evening. Let's go back to the room and wait for him." "Go back to your room?" Lin Yi frowned. Yet, where else to go back to? Pengzhan Xiao had originally just wanted to spend more time with Lin Yi, creating a chance for him to fall in love with her. She hadn't given it much thought, but Lin Yi's question made Pengzhan Xiao feel a little uneasy. Being alone in a room with a single man and a single woman was something Pengzhan Xiao had never experienced before. What if Lin Yi's urges went wild? He seemed quite formidable, and she was no match for him, wasn't he? But then, think about it, what if he went wild? At most, he'd do that to her. She wasn't going to live long anyway, and she didn't know what that felt like yet. But wouldn't she be at a huge disadvantage? It seemed impossible. Judging by Lin Yi's lack of interest in her, he probably wouldn't even try to seduce her. Pengzhan Xiao felt a little disappointed at this thought. Was her charm really that limited? "Let's go," Lin Yi agreed, noting that Pengzhan Xiao's expression didn't seem unusual. Honestly, if Pengzhan Yulong hadn't been looking for him, he wouldn't have run into Pengzhan Xiao's room in the middle of the night. "Ha ha ha, let's go." Pengzhan Xiao picked up the lunchboxes in her hand, and thought of Wu Chenshin's silly look, and started laughing again. Lin Yi was a little speechless. It seemed that Pengzhan Xiao was born to like to be funny, and she could laugh non-stop at the smallest things. Pengzhan Xiao laughed as she walked, and she kept laughing until she entered the hotel. People who didn't know her thought she had picked up money. In fact, the vase could indeed be sold for money. Pengzhan Xiao felt happy just thinking about it. She picked up millions for nothing. She was not someone who didn't know the value of the diamond, and she could probably estimate the value of the diamond. Ha ha ha, Pengzhan Xiao started laughing again when she thought about it, but there is a saying that excessive happiness leads to sorrow, so Pengzhan Xiao was extremely happy and ended up in sorrow. The marble stairs of the hotel had just been cleaned, and there were still water stains on them. It was quite slippery, and Pengzhan Xiao was laughing so hard that she staggered and accidentally slipped. Pengzhan Xiao screamed and slid down the stairs. Not only did she fall flat on her butt, but she was also soaked all over and felt extremely uncomfortable. Lin Yi was finally happy this time. Looking at Pengzhan Xiao's expression, he didn't know what to say. Lin Yi could have definitely grabbed Pengzhan Xiao, but he didn't do it. The stairs were not high, and if she fell down, at most her butt would hurt a little and her body would get a little dirty, but she wouldn't get hurt. It would be better to teach her a lesson so that she wouldn't laugh neurotically for no reason. "Lin Yi, come and pull me up." Pengzhan Xiao almost cried because of the fall, but she gritted her teeth and held on. Ever since Pengzhan Xiao knew about her physical condition, she secretly vowed not to cry, so Pengzhan Xiao endured it for so many years. Chapter 519 Don't Peek. Lin Yi walked over and pulled Pengzhan Xiao up. Although Pengzhan Xiao knew Lin Yi was a skilled fighter, she hadn't expected him to be able to hold her back in such a state, so she didn't blame him for the moment. Pengzhan Xiao glanced at the lunchbox in her hands, pleasantly surprised. This high-end hotel is different. The lunchboxes are sealed. Nothing spilled at all. Otherwise, I'd be at a loss. This sealed box must have cost several yuan. How? Lin Yi was once again amused by Pengzhan Xiao's behavior. He was about to fall down, yet he still cared about whether his lunchbox had spilled. You've never had these good things before. Lin Yi had always assumed Pengzhan Xiao's family was wealthy, and Feng Xianlong's salary must have been high. At least he earned hundreds of millions for each mission, so Feng Xianlong's salary must have been quite high too. How could I? Pengzhan Xiao said with a hint of nostalgia. This is my first time eating something this delicious. At school, I usually eat instant noodles or go to the cafeteria. Did you notice? I noticed, but I thought you were deliberately approaching me. Lin Yi had really thought so. I saved up pocket money for several years to buy my Audi TT. My monthly living expenses are 10,000 yuan. Pengzhan Xiao curled her lips. 10,000 yuan is a lot for ordinary people, but compared to Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu, it's a lot less. Wu Chenshin is a fool, but Kang Xiaolong is not, and neither are the other people in the Wu family. I guess this is just the first time you'll be fooled. You'll be lucky if he doesn't bother you in the future, Lin Yi reminded her because she was Feng Xianlong's daughter. Are you concerned about me? Pengzhan Xiao was stunned. Could it be that Lin Yi had started to like her? Lin Yi said nothing and went upstairs. The lobby was on the first floor of the hotel, and the elevator was only on the second floor. Hey, wait for me. Pengzhan Xiao limped after him. Ouch, my butt. Pengzhan Xiao's room was on the third floor, an economy room. The lower the floor, the cheaper it was. Pengzhan Xiao pulled out a room card and opened the door, a bit disgruntled. Why are you leaving so quickly? How could you have gotten in without me? Lin Yi ignored her. He'd come to see Feng Xianlong, and some things needed to be made clear. Sit down for a bit. I'm going to take a shower. Pengzhan Xiao was soaked. While it wasn't sewage, it was still water from the floor, and as a girl, Pengzhan Xiao naturally couldn't stand it. Shower? Lin Yi was stunned, staring at Pengzhan Xiao in disbelief. Wasn't this Pengzhan Xiao too bold? She was actually going to take a shower? Was she trying to seduce him? Seeing Lin Yi's stunned expression, Pengzhan Xiao immediately guessed what he was thinking, blushing. What nonsense are you thinking? I'm all dirty and uncomfortable. I wasn't thinking anything. Lin Yi was amused. It seemed he had indeed been overthinking things. But he wouldn't admit it. Hey, don't peek. Pengzhan Xiao glared at Lin Yi and went to the bathroom. Naturally, Lin Yi wouldn't peek. Pengzhan Xiao might be pretty, but her rebellious nature was simply unacceptable. This girl was too fierce, even more capable of playing tricks than Chen Yashu, and even more ruthless. However, Pengzhan Xiao's last words gave him something to think about. After all, Lin Yi had heard the story of worse than beasts. Lin Yi casually sat on the sofa in his room and called Tang Yun. The phone still sounded off, suggesting she wasn't on. Lin Yi sighed, unsure why Tang Yun was so angry. Hadn't he just broken an appointment? However, things did get busy today. Xiaofen had gotten into trouble early in the morning, and then he flew to Beijing. He hadn't had a moment to rest, and even seeing Tang Yun was out of the question. Listening to the sound of running water in the bathroom, Lin Yi felt an itch for the first time, and couldn't help but laugh. He was actually interested in Pengzhan Xiao taking a shower? However, one has to admit that Pengzhan Xiao is indeed very beautiful. If it weren't for her quirky personality, she might have many suitors. And Lin Yi's thoughts were just a normal physiological reaction. He shook his head and cast aside the unrealistic thoughts. Pengzhan Xiao was also a little nervous in the bathroom. She was uncomfortable with the dirt on her body before, and it was normal to want to take a shower, but once she entered the bathroom, it felt a little unnatural. Thinking that Lin Yi was still outside, Pengzhan Xiao became even more nervous. Would Lin Yi break in? Considering Lin Yi's skills, the bathroom lock really couldn't prevent Lin Yi. Moreover, Pengzhan Xiao's heart was also conflicted. On the one hand, she was afraid that Lin Yi would break in, but on the other hand, she was competitive. After all, she was a great beauty, So why was Lin Yi indifferent to her? If he had no interest in her at all, how could she pursue him? How could she get revenge on him? Thinking of this, Feng Xiaoxiao gritted her teeth. You can't catch a wolf without sacrificing your child, and you can't catch a pervert without sacrificing your body. So, Feng Xiaoxiao just closed the bathroom door, but did not lock it. If Lin Yi broke in, she would give him some benefits, let his eyes take advantage and see some visible parts, as long as she didn't really take advantage of him. Yes, it's written in the book that this kind of hazy feeling makes men's hearts move. After putting her worries aside, Feng Xiaoxiao took a shower with peace of mind. It must be said that taking a hot shower after eating and drinking is really enjoyable. Feng Xiaoxiao smeared bath gel on her body while humming a little song. Lula la lula, I love taking a bath like a turtle falling down. Feng Xiaoxiao was feeling proud when suddenly a chill spread over her body. At first, Feng Xiaoxiao didn't pay attention. She thought it was because of the cold weather and she was taking a bath without wearing clothes, but then she felt that this was not the case. It was so uncomfortable. Feng Xiaoxiao felt a little dizzy and almost couldn't stand. She quickly turned off the hot shower to let the heat dissipate so that she could take a breath. However, the feeling of cold and suffocation became stronger and stronger. Oh, it's so uncomfortable, Feng Xiaoxiao groaned, and suddenly remembered the taboos of her body. That is, she can't eat too much seafood. Too much seafood may cause symptoms in the body to flare up. If it is serious, she may lose her life. Feng Xiaoxiao regretted it at this time. She was so excited about her greed that she didn't think about the fatal flaw of her body. Feng Xiaoxiao had never eaten so much seafood before. Even if she ate, she only ate a little bit. She also didn't eat a whole table like today. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 520 Feng Xiaoxiao falls ill. But it was too late to regret now, the food had already been eaten. Tragically, he'd been so happy at the time, thinking he'd gotten away with something so good. Feng Xiaoxiao gasped, feeling as if she'd fallen into an ice cellar. But she didn't dare turn on the hot water. Breathing was already difficult, and if there was any more steam, she'd probably suffocate. Help! It hurts. I'm dying, Feng Xiaoxiao cried out desperately, but her frail body made her voice meager. Even the faintest sound was still audible to Lin Yi. In fact, he'd heard Feng Xiaoxiao's first moan. Late-stage yellow rank experts weren't fools, and Lin Yi was even stronger than the average late-stage yellow rank expert. But Lin Yi didn't take it seriously, thinking Feng Xiaoxiao was being whimsical to seduce him. Although Lin Yi thought Feng Xiaoxiao wasn't the type to act casually, with her personality, she could do anything outrageous when she got mad, so he didn't take it seriously. Lin Yi heard Feng Xiaoxiao's cries for help, but he didn't believe them. This girl had so many tricks up her sleeve, who knew if they were real or fake? What if he went into the bathroom and she accused him of molesting her and took pictures? He'd have no way of explaining himself. Lin Yi, I'm dying. Help me. Feng Xiaoxiao didn't see Lin Yi coming, and she suddenly felt a surge of despair. She'd have a seizure in this bathroom, and no one would know. She'd die without even knowing how. How pitiful. Although Feng Xiaoxiao knew she wasn't going to live long, she didn't want to. Every day she could live was a day. Who would want to die so early? She struggled to crawl towards the bathroom door, trying to get out. Whoa! Feng Xiaoxiao tried to push the bathroom door open with her hands, but even though it wasn't locked, it wouldn't open easily without the handle. Ah! Feng Xiaoxiao was truly despairing now. She didn't want to die. She hadn't lived enough. There were still so many things she hadn't done, so why would she die like this? Originally, she was planning to travel around the world before she died. She had never even had a boyfriend, so she didn't know what it felt like to be in love. I don't want to die. This was Feng Xiaoxiao's last thought, and she fainted by the bathroom door. Lin Yi initially ignored Feng Xiaoxiao's cries for help, but after a while, there was no movement in the bathroom, and Lin Yi couldn't help but feel a little confused. Logically, Feng Xiaoxiao should have come out of the bathroom if she wasn't trying to deceive him. The sound of running water had stopped, proving that Feng Xiaoxiao had finished her shower, But why hadn't she come out yet? Could it be? Lin Yi frowned. Could something have really happened to Feng Xiaoxiao? Lin Yi wasn't the type to meddle in other people's business, but he couldn't ignore it at this moment. First, Feng Xiaoxiao was familiar to him, at least they were deskmates. Second, she was Feng Xianlong's daughter. If something happened to her while they were together, wouldn't Feng Xianlong scold him to death? Lin Yi smiled wryly and stood up. He tiptoed to the bathroom door, listening for any noises inside. Although he could hear them from outside, he wanted to pick up the subtlest sounds more clearly. Feng Xiaoxiao wasn't an expert, nor had she received any specialized training. So even if she pretended to be silent, she couldn't achieve the same level of silence as those trained. And yet, Lin Yi truly didn't hear a sound, which immediately made him feel something was amiss. After a moment's hesitation, Lin Yi reached for the bathroom doorknob, but to his surprise, it wasn't locked. He easily opened the door, but what followed startled him. Feng Xiaoxiao lay naked on the bathroom floor, motionless. Feng Xiaoxiao, Lin Yi called out tentatively. There was no response. At this moment, Lin Yi was certain that something was wrong with Feng Xiaoxiao. Given her current condition, it was unlikely she would take a photo to threaten him. Confirming that Feng Xiaoxiao was indeed ill, Lin Yi quickly leaned over, not looking around. He reached out and grasped Feng Xiaoxiao's wrist, lost in thought. Feng Xiaoxiao's body was perfectly normal. All bodily functions were normal, yet a trace of vitality was missing. This surprised Lin Yi somewhat. Vitality is a strange concept. According to modern medicine, there's no such thing as vitality. As long as the body's internal organs are healthy, the person is considered healthy. However, Lin Yi could sense the vitality of every person. Those who haven't practiced cultivation often have weaker vitality than those who have. For example, a Wang-level master has stronger vitality than an average person, and a Zhuan-level master has even stronger vitality than a Wang-level master. And this vitality, as Jiao Yezi described it, is a kind of Zhanqi energy. He also used the amount of this Zhanqi energy to judge a person's strength. Master Jiao, what's going on? Under Old Man Lin's training, Lin Yi was considered a miracle doctor, but he had never seen Feng Xiaoxiao behave in such a strange way before. I don't know. For the first time, Jiao Yezi was unable to answer Lin Yi's question. But those with weak bodies have very weak energy. Lin Yi was anxious, and Feng Xiaoxiao lying on the ground wasn't a solution. Lin Yi picked her up, but because his mind was preoccupied, he didn't pay attention to where he touched her, and his right hand pinched something soft. Huh? Lin Yi was startled, then realized what he had touched, a girl's breast. Lin Yi's heart trembled, and he almost threw Feng Xiaoxiao away. Although he had touched Chen Yushu before, it was through clothes, not direct contact. He had always thought that the first girl he touched would be Tang Yun. But he didn't expect it to be Feng Xiaoxiao. Although Lin Yi is usually very calm, he couldn't calm down at this moment. He was extremely excited. Although Lin Yi didn't like Feng Xiaoxiao emotionally, his reaction at this moment had nothing to do with his feelings. Lin Yi wanted to let go, but he was reluctant. His hands holding Feng Xiaoxiao were shaking. Turning around excitedly, Lin Yi's arm scratched the locked tongue of the bathroom door, leaving a wound and blood flowing down. The pain made Lin Yi suddenly wake up. Feng Xiaoxiao's life or death is unknown now, what should he think? Chapter 521 Degraded. Lin Yi took a deep breath and hugged Feng Xiaoxiao tighter, ignoring the soft feeling in his hands as he rushed into the room. Feng Xiaoxiao was in a coma. What if she died? In the past, while Lin Yi wouldn't have ignored Feng Xiaoxiao, he certainly wouldn't have worried either. But after learning she was Feng Xianlong's daughter, Lin Yi had to take her more seriously. Laying Feng Xiaoxiao down on the bed, Lin Yi frowned slightly. Although Lin Yi was known as a miracle doctor, he knew there was still some gap between his skills and the old man's, but the gap was definitely not too far. Feng Xiaoxiao's condition was completely unprecedented, and Lin Yi had no idea what was wrong with her. If Lin Yi hadn't been familiar with the symptoms of a coma, he would have thought she was faking it to deceive him. Naturally, with Feng Xiaoxiao's personality, she might have resorted to such deception to deceive Lin Yi, but after an examination, Lin Yi found that wasn't the case. Lin Yi was anxious. On the one hand, he was worried about Feng Xiaoxiao's condition, and on the other, he was afraid that Feng Xianlong would suddenly return at this time. If Xuanyuan saw his daughter lying naked in bed, he would be speechless. Lin Yi fell into deep thought, at a loss for words. He really didn't know where to start with Pengzhan. Of course, Lin Yi had no intention of sending Pengzhan to the hospital. If he couldn't find the problem himself, going to the hospital would be useless. There was clearly nothing wrong with her body, and her internal organs were healthy. From the outside, Pengzhan was as healthy as could be, so how could she be dead? Blood flowed down Lin Yi's arm, staining the sheets and Pengzhan's body. However, Lin Yi didn't care about the wound on his arm. After all, this little skin injury was nothing. Mr. Jiao, you are so knowledgeable. Do you have any solution? Lin Yi had to ask Jiao Yezi for help again. She's lacking energy. Little Lin Yi, you can try using the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue, dragon taming technique, to channel that energy into her and see how it goes. Jiao Yezi's voice echoed in Lin Yi's ears. Lin Yi was slightly startled, then suddenly found hope. Yes, why hadn't he thought of that? Since Pengzhan's body lacked vitality, could this Henki energy generated by his Xuanyuan Yulong Jue be used to feed her? Thinking of this, Lin Yi no longer hesitated. He grasped Pengzhan's hands and activated the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue mental formula. Instantly, a powerful suction force emanated from Pengzhan's body, and the energy within Lin Yi surged into her at an incredible speed. Lin Yi was slightly startled. Lin Yi had used energy to heal others in the past, such as Liu Zhenhu. He was familiar with this powerful suction force. It was the injured body's need for energy. However, this was the first time Lin Yi had seen someone like Pengzhan, absorbing energy like a bottomless pit. However, in order to wake Pengzhan up, Lin Yi gritted his teeth and endured it. Isn't it just a loss of some energy? Anyway, he has the Jade Pendant's cultivation space, and he can basically replenish it after a good sleep. However, Lin Yi's idea was good, but he soon found that it was not the case. Because Pengzhan's body seemed to have an endless thirst for energy. Lin Yi's face turned pale, and the energy in his body was still continuously transmitted to Pengzhan's body. Lin boy, let go. Jiao Yezi also realized that something was wrong and hurriedly reminded Lin Yi. Lin Yi was shocked when he heard Jiao Yezi's reminder. He wanted to let go of Pengzhan's hands, but found that there seemed to be a sticky force between their hands, and they couldn't be separated at all. Old Jiao, what should I do? Lin Yi was terrified and had to ask old Jiao for help. Jiao Yezi was also very surprised, but with his knowledge, he couldn't figure out why the current situation had occurred. Why don't you try using the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue's mental formula again? I can't stop it, Lin Yi said with a wry smile. He had naturally thought of this method a long time ago, but the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue was automatically running in his body, which was not something Lin Yi could control at all. It was like the moment before he upgraded and was about to break through, which was not controlled by his own thoughts at all. Jiao Yezi was helpless this time. I have no tricks, you figure it out yourself, damn. You old man, Lin Yi was anxious. Jiao Yezi let go and didn't care. What should he do? He quickly called out, old Jiao, come out. However, Jiao Yezi pretended to be dead and didn't make a sound. Ah, Lin Yi screamed, feeling as if the energy in his body had been drained away. He fell headfirst onto the bed and fainted. Fortunately, you are not dead, Jiao Yezi's voice finally rang this time. Huh? Lin Yi was also stunned. He was okay? However, the next moment, Lin Yi found that he had automatically entered the cultivation space inside the Jade Pendant. In the past, he could only enter it when he was asleep, but he didn't expect that he could enter it even when he fainted. I'm not dead, but it seems that the situation is not very good, Jiao Yezi laughed dryly. You old man, we are both teachers and friends. How could you abandon me when the time comes? Lin Yi was furious. Thanks to my good luck, it seems that I just fainted and not dead. Isn't this beyond my knowledge? I don't know what happened, and I can't say anything, right? Jiao Yezi was a little embarrassed. Lin Yi also knew that this was not the time to blame Jiao Yezi. And what Jiao Lao said was right, he didn't know what had happened to him just now, so he could only choose to remain silent. You should take a look at your own situation, Zai. Your situation is not good. Jiao Yezi coughed twice to divert Lin Yi's attention. Lin Yi was shocked after hearing what Jiao Yezi said. Yes, I was so busy talking to Jiao Yezi that I didn't even check my condition. I just lost so much energy, and I don't know if it has any damage to my body. Although I am still in the training space, my body outside is in a coma. Thinking of this, Lin Yi hurriedly checked his condition, but the next moment, Lin Yi's face changed. Because Lin Yi discovered that he had actually dropped from a level. From the peak strength of the late yellow rank, he has become an ordinary person who is not even at the early yellow rank. Chapter 522, A Blessing in Misfortune. Mr. Jiao, I seem to have been demoted. Lin Yi looked at Jiao Yazi with a wry smile. Lin Yi hadn't expected such bad luck. He had gone to save Feng Xiaoxiao with good intentions, but he didn't know whether he had saved her or not, and he ended up demoting himself. I can see that, except for a slight energy fluctuation, your physical condition is the same as Feng Xiaoxiao's just now. Jiao Yazi had already noticed something was wrong, so he reminded Lin Yi to check his own condition. Does that mean I have no strength left? Although Lin Yi felt a little depressed, he was also open-minded. He had already been demoted, so there was no point in being sad. The key was to figure out the situation as soon as possible and find a solution. Haha, that's right, Jiao Yazi laughed. All the energy was used up, so it's natural to drop in level. It would be abnormal if it didn't, huh? Lin Yi saw that Jiao Yazi could still laugh at this time, and his face suddenly looked a little strange. Old Jiao, why do I feel like you are gloating? Of course not, I just think that it's okay to drop in level. The strength of the peak of the late yellow rank is not a big deal. What's the big deal if it drops? Jiao Yazi waved his hand and said indifferently. Old Jiao, you are talking lightly. I have a lot of enemies. Okay, Lin Yi was a little speechless. If that's the case, I have to hide back in the mountains. Xiao Yi, you are too hopeless, aren't you? A peak of the late yellow rank is gone, and you are so worried that you want to hide back in your hometown. Can you still do big things? Jiao Yazi looked at Lin Yi sarcastically. Well, peak late stage yellow rank strength is nothing in your eyes, but at least it can protect me, right? Lin Yi was suddenly startled, a flicker of joy in his eyes. He looked at Jiao Yazi. Old Jiao, do you have a solution? A solution? You don't know. Jiao Yazi looked at Lin Yi with a half smile. If I knew, would I ask you? Lin Yi felt helpless. Jiao Yazi seemed quite mischievous, with a certain old naughty boyish demeanor. I thought you knew, Jiao Yazi said. It's such a simple thing. You dropped a level. Can't you just practice again? Haven't you ever played online games? Practice again? Lin Yi was immediately frustrated. That's one solution, but isn't it a little too slow? I've been practicing for over a decade to reach the late yellow rank. Your Xuanyuan dragon taming art hasn't dropped a level, Jiao Yazi said calmly, looking at Lin Yi. Xuanyuan dragon taming art. Lin Yi suddenly realized and subconsciously activated the Xuanyuan dragon taming art's internal energy techniques. The energy in the jade pendant space rapidly surged into his body. Lin Yi also noticed the level of the Xuanyuan dragon taming art. Sure enough, it was still the second level. Do you understand now? Yellow rank strength is just a popular rank created by some people. It is mainly based on the amount of energy in the body, or what they call the amount of true ki, Jiao Yazi said, and you are practicing the Xuanyuan dragon taming art, but only the first level of the Xuanyuan dragon taming art, which is equivalent to the strength of the late yellow rank. Then if I cultivate energy again, won't it still be very slow? Lin Yi asked hesitantly. Have you played online games? Jiao Yazi was a quite fashionable old man who knew about online games. I have played some, Lin Yi nodded. But he didn't know what the connection was. The situation in your body right now is that, although you've lost your energy, your level is still there, Jiao Yazi explained. It's like playing an online game. Your level is there, but your experience points are gone. Is it faster for you to level up a level 30 character with a level 1 character, or for a level 1 character to level up to level 30 on their own? Lin Yi immediately understood what Jiao Yazi meant. Jiao Yazi's analogy, though commonplace, was very fitting. In other words, he had already reached the second level of the Xuanyuan dragon taming art. His current cultivation speed should be much faster than when he wasn't even at the first level. And considering that he could still cultivate in the jade pendant space, his speed would naturally be even faster. Understand? Jiao Yazi looked at Lin Yi and said with a hint of amusement, it's not a big deal. Why are you so nervous? I knew that, Lin Yi said a little embarrassedly. It was true that he had been too concerned just now, but now that he thought about it carefully, it was indeed the truth. Lin Yi once again activated the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue dragon taming technique, and the energy in the space began to surge. He sensed it and found it was indeed over 10 times faster than his initial practice. Furthermore, the purity of the energy was incomparable. He felt a sudden sense of peace, having resolved his own issues. Then, Lin Yi suddenly remembered that he still didn't know what was happening with Pengzhan Group. He wanted to return to reality to check, but this time, he realized he couldn't go back. Normally, Lin Yi could control his awakening time within the Jade Pendant space and sense the outside world's condition. Previously, Lin Yi had focused solely on his own strength, ignoring the outside world. Now, he found that he seemed to have lost that connection with his outer body. Master Jiao, I can't go back. Lin Yi was a little worried, but thinking of Jiao Yezi's calm expression, he feared that if something truly went wrong, his expression wouldn't change. With his previous experience recovering his strength, Lin Yi wasn't as frightened this time. You're exhausted and unconscious. Naturally, it's different from sleeping, Jiao Yazi said calmly. Recover some energy within the space, and you'll be able to return naturally, as expected. Lin Yi nodded secretly, believing it wasn't a serious problem. With Jiao Yazi's affirmation, he settled down to cultivate with peace of mind. Time passed, and gradually, Lin Yi reconnected with his body. He could sense Pengzhan Group's breathing becoming steady, and instead of feeling lifeless as before, a faint energy fluctuation emanated from her body. Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief, believing Pengzhan Group was apparently alright. This allowed him to cultivate peacefully within the Jade Pendant. Otherwise, his constant concern for Pengzhan Group's condition would have kept him from resting. The energy within the Jade Pendant rapidly poured into Lin Yi's body, and his strength increased at an incredible rate. This completely reassured Lin Yi. At his current rate, it wouldn't take long for him to regain his previous strength. It seemed Jiao Yazi hadn't lied to him. As long as the Xuanyuan dragon taming arts level remained intact, even if all the energy in his body was completely depleted, there wouldn't be a serious problem. Chapter 523 Pengzhan Group's evil idea. Lin Yi was drawn back to his senses by Pengzhan Group's screams. To his relief, Pengzhan Group was truly awake. Lin Yi's hands were still clutching Pengzhan Group's. You're awake. Seeing Pengzhan Group was fine, Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief. What did you do to me? As Pengzhan Group awoke, she found herself lying naked in bed, with Lin Yi sleeping beside her. The most horrifying thing was the blood between her legs and on the sheets. Believing she had lost her virginity, Pengzhan Group screamed. Lin Yi was baffled, staring blankly at her. Me? What did I do to you? Me? You? Pengzhan Group was a little annoyed. Lin Yi wasn't going to deny it, was he? She'd slept naked in bed with him, and he was still asking her what she'd done? Wasn't that infuriating? Although Pengzhan Group knew she wasn't going to live long, she wasn't some casual girl. She certainly couldn't pretend nothing had happened. What do you mean by me? Lin Yi was a little annoyed. Not only did he save Pengzhan Group, but this girl thought he had done something to her. Because she had been demoted, and he hadn't even come to terms with her yet. So he said, without me, you would have died long ago? Pengzhan Group was stunned, and suddenly remembered what had happened before. When Pengzhan Group opened her eyes, she found herself lying naked with Lin Yi, with blood on her body and the sheets. She was a little confused for a moment. Subconsciously, she thought something had happened between her and Lin Yi, but after hearing what Lin Yi said, she thought carefully and realized that she had been taking a shower and then felt uncomfortable and fainted. So, it was Lin Yi who got her out of the bathroom and saved her? But how did Lin Yi save her? Even if Pengzhan Group hadn't experienced it, she knew from her mother's diary that after she showed those symptoms, it was the time for the disease to fall ill. In other words, death was not far away, and even the most skilled doctor would not be able to treat her. Pengzhan Group's earlier cries for help were driven by an instinctive desire to survive. She knew she was going to die, but who wants to die? But now, Pengzhan Group felt perfectly well, seemingly showing no symptoms at all. Could it really have been Lin Yi who saved her? You saved me, Pengzhan Group asked, looking at Lin Yi hesitantly. Can you stop asking nonsense? Lin Yi gave a wry smile. How did you save me? Pengzhan Group was curious. She had an incurable disease, and even though she felt fine now, she still didn't believe Lin Yi could have saved her. No comment, Lin Yi said calmly. Oh, Pengzhan Group didn't press the issue. Suddenly, she remembered the blood on her body and asked, Then what's with the blood on me? Did you really not? I cut my arm when I was holding you in the bathroom. Lin Yi raised his arm, but was surprised to find that the wound had almost healed, leaving only a shallow scar. Really? Pengzhan Group saw the scar on Lin Yi's arm, which didn't look fresh at all. She was immediately suspicious. Did it just get hurt? How? Lin Yi shrugged nonchalantly and stood up. Whether Pengzhan Group believed him or not was completely irrelevant to him. Hurry up and put your clothes on, or your father will think I really did something to you when he gets back. Pengzhan Group realized that she was still naked. And Lin Yi had been in front of her for so long, wouldn't he have seen everything? Pengzhan Group was immediately embarrassed. You? Turn around, I've seen it all. She has a nice figure. Lin Yi didn't have any ill feelings towards Pengzhan Group, but he didn't like her either, so he spoke without restraint. You? Pengzhan Group was immediately annoyed, glaring at Lin Yi with hatred, wanting to kill him with her eyes. Pengzhan Group knew that if she fought Lin Yi at this moment, regardless of whether she could be his opponent, she would definitely be the one to be exposed. At that moment, Lin Yi turned away. Pengzhan Group's eyes nearly popped out of her head, but it didn't intimidate Lin Yi at all. Pengzhan Group was furious, but then a daring idea struck her. She gritted her teeth, grabbed her phone from the bed, and switched it to camera mode. Then, she leaped off the bed, hugged Lin Yi from behind, and took a picture from the front. Pengzhan Group's action stunned Lin Yi. Lin Yi had turned around to wait for Pengzhan Group to get dressed, so he wasn't on guard against her. Furthermore, Lin Yi's own strength was nearly exhausted, so he didn't notice her until she was close. What are you doing? Lin Yi was baffled by Pengzhan Group's actions. A throbbing emotion washed over him, and the feeling of Pengzhan Group's soft embrace against his back made Lin Yi's heart flutter. Nothing. Pengzhan Group hurriedly jumped away from Lin Yi and quickly put her phone away. Why are you filming me? Although Lin Yi didn't turn around, he saw Pengzhan Group's outstretched hand holding the phone. Tell my dad you raped me, Pengzhan Group said with a roll of her eyes. Lin Yi frowned, but still said nothing. Lin Yi had seen Pengzhan Group's eccentricities before, so he didn't find it strange. Seeing that Lin Yi didn't answer, Pengzhan Group felt bored and put on her clothes before saying, Hey, you really didn't do anything to me, can't you feel it yourself? Lin Yi asked back. How should I feel it? I was unconscious before, how could I know what you did? Pengzhan Group snorted. Then you're not a virgin, Lin Yi asked. You're not a virgin. Of course I am. Pengzhan Group was a little displeased when Lin Yi said she wasn't a virgin. Although her behavior was similar to that of a young gangster, Pengzhan Group had always been chaste and had never had a boyfriend. Of course I'm not. Lin Yi curled his lips. If you were, would it not hurt the first time? Go to the hospital for a checkup and you'll know if everything is fine. You? Pengzhan Group suddenly came to her senses. Yes, she didn't feel anything strange, so there must be nothing wrong. But, in this way, wouldn't Lin Yi have no handle? As long as Lin Yi took her to the hospital for a checkup, it would prove everything. In fact, Lin Yi did think so. With proof, he would not be afraid that Pengzhan Group would threaten him with this matter. Even if Xuanyuan Yulong found him, he could prove his innocence. Please vote for recommendation. Please vote a few times. Thank you. Chapter 524 Strength Recovery. Have fun by yourself. Call me when your dad comes back. Lin Yi checked the time. It was already past 1 in the morning. Xuanyuan Yulong had been unconscious for hours, and he hadn't returned during that time. He probably wouldn't be back tonight. Lin Yi knew the nature of Xuanyuan Yulong's work. It was much the same as his own, often out of control. So if he hadn't returned by then, it was likely he wasn't coming back, so there was no point in waiting any longer. Are you leaving? Pengzhan Group was annoyed when she saw Lin Yi about to leave. This guy had seen her naked and then turned around and walked away. What was the point? Lin Yi nodded, pushed the door open, and walked out of Pengzhan Group's room, leaving only his back. HMPH, Pengzhan Group stamped her foot in anger. You bastard, Lin Yi, be careful or I'll dig your eyes out and stomp them. Her anger faded, but then she thought back to Lin Yi's compliment on her figure, and Pengzhan Group felt a small pang of joy. It looked like she had a nice figure, and Lin Yi wasn't completely uninterested in her. With time, she might be able to capture Lin Yi's heart, right? Pengzhan Group's heart pounded at the thought, especially since the photo she'd just taken on her phone could be her trump card. If Tang Yun saw it, well, Lin Yi would be doomed. Lin Yi had no idea what Pengzhan Group was thinking, nor did he have time to think about it. After leaving the Songjiang International Hotel where Pengzhan Group was staying, he began to check his own strength. Early yellow rank? A smile suddenly crossed Lin Yi's face. Back then, it had taken him nearly 5 years to reach early yellow rank from an ordinary person, and now, it had only taken a few hours. It seemed Jiao Yazi was right. He hadn't lost his level, only his energy. Once his energy returned, his strength would naturally return. While early yellow rank wasn't particularly powerful, it was still enough to protect himself. Lin Yi hailed a taxi and returned to his hotel. Fatty Lai and Guanzuman were still awake, drinking in their room. The old man, the young man, didn't have much to talk about, but they had one common topic, Lin Yi's pharmaceutical company. This helped alleviate some awkward silence. Seeing Lin Yi push the door open and walk in, Fatty Lai said, "Boss, you're back? Have a couple of drinks with us, then let's have a couple of drinks." Lin Yi didn't refuse. One of them was his elder, and although the other was his younger brother, the pharmaceutical company would still rely on him in the future. Fatty Lai just said it casually, not expecting Lin Yi to agree. He was stunned when he heard Lin Yi agreed. Lin Yi had already sat down. When he was in the hotel before, Lin Yi watched Pengzhan Group eat, but Lin Yi himself didn't eat anything. At this moment, he was really hungry. "I'll eat something first, you guys drink first." Lin Yi saw that there were still some dumplings on the table, so he brought them to himself and started to eat them voraciously. "Boss, didn't you eat when you were out?" Fatty Lai was a little surprised. He thought Lin Yi had gone out to eat, but he didn't expect him to eat so fast like a hungry wolf after returning. "How?" Lin Yi chuckled. "They ate it, but there was this girl who was such a glutton she ate it all by herself." Fatty Lai's eyes widened. Could it be that Pengzhan Group from earlier? "Yeah, that's her," Lin Yi said without hiding anything. "Oh, I don't know what her background is. Even Wu Gongao is afraid of her father." Fatty Lai naturally had an impression of Pengzhan Group. As a businessman, he kept these powerful figures in mind. "How, her father and I are somewhat acquainted, but don't ask about her background for now." Lin Yi waved his hand. "That's confidential." Lin Yi and Fatty Lai had only known each other for a short time, so Lin Yi couldn't completely trust him. While he could tell him some things, he couldn't. However, Guanzuman understood Lin Yi's words. Guanzuman already knew Lin Yi's relationship with Yang Huaijin, and remembering Wu Gonggao's address for Feng Xianlong, he immediately connected Feng Xianlong's identity. Feng Xianlong was likely a secret agent, but the specific department he belonged to was unknown. Fatty Lai didn't say anything more, but instead discussed the auction with Lin Yi. "Boss, take a look. Here's the catalog for tomorrow's auction. See if there's anything you're looking for." Fatty Lai's invitation was a red one, meaning he could only get the catalog on the day of the auction. But Guanzuman's was different. His was a gold one, allowing him to get the catalog in advance. Originally, Guanzuman didn't care, but thinking Lin Yi might need it, he ordered one. "I've seen the things here, and the only one related to medicine is the 1,000-year-old snow lotus," Guanzuman said. "I wonder if it has any use." 1,000-year-old snow lotus. Lin Yi was slightly stunned. "This thing is very rare. 1,000-year-old snow lotus is used as a medicine in many ancient prescriptions, and it has unexpected effects on repairing scars in the human body." "Oh? So it can be useful to us too?" Fatty Lai asked excitedly. "Shall we get it tomorrow?" "That's not necessary." Lin Yi waved his hand. "The cost of this thing is too high, and it is impossible to mass produce it." "That's true. One snow lotus is really not enough to do anything." Fatty Lai was suddenly disappointed. For example, the fine trauma medicine that we are going to auction that can repair scars, the original recipe contains a 1,000-year-old snow lotus, but I replaced it with something else," Lin Yi said. "In fact, the medicinal materials in many ancient recipes are now difficult to find, but they can be replaced." "Damn. Boss, you are so awesome." After hearing what Lin Yi said, Fatty Lai was immediately impressed. "This can be replaced? Does it have any effect?" "Maybe, maybe not, but I haven't found it." Lin Yi smiled. "It should be negligible." "Boss, you are really a miracle doctor." Although Fatty Lai did not understand medical skills, he also knew that there were many doctors who could diagnose and prescribe medicine, but there were very few doctors who could change the prescription at will and find substitutes. including Guanzumin. He was also shocked at the moment. Lin Yi brought him too many unexpected surprises, which made him a little unable to accept it. It really lived up to the saying, "You never stop learning, and there are always people better than you." He used to be called a miracle doctor, but compared to Lin Yi, he was like a frog in a well. Nothing, just something very simple. Lin Yi waved his hand. Let me take a look at the catalog first. Chapter 525, Wanyanchen Wooden Box. Fatty Lai felt increasingly confident in his decision-making. What an honor it was to be Lin Yi's younger brother. His older brother, that fool, thought he was so great just by acquiring the electronics industrial park. Little did he know that he had given up on all that because, in his eyes, it was nothing. Only from a higher position could one see farther and wider. The business he was pursuing with Lin Yi was far greater than just the electronics industrial park. Lin Yi flipped through the auction list. Most of the items were antiques, carvings, famous paintings, calligraphy, and the like, with a few oddities like celebrity dates. The celebrities on the second day were clearly more famous than those on the first. By the way, does the famous star Xuanyuan have an auction date? Lin Yi glanced at the celebrities on the list. He didn't recognize any of them. After a long thought, he realized he had only heard of Xuanyuan. Fatty Lai was stunned, then smiled bitterly and said, "Boss, do you like Xuanyuan?" "No." Lin Yi shook his head. "I have a friend who likes her. If there is one at auction, I can buy it and let them meet." Lin Yi knew that Miss and Xiao Shu were both fans of Xuanyuan, so if there was such an opportunity at the auction, Lin Yi would not mind bidding for the two of them once. After all, Miss and Xiao Shu were very good to him. "Is that so? I thought you liked her, boss." Fatty Lai shook his head again after saying this, and said, "Yes, boss, if you're her fan, you will know it." "Know what?" Lin Yi asked back. Xuanyuan's background. Since her debut, there has been no scandal at all, but no one knows her background. But many of those who had intentions towards her have disappeared, Fatty Lai said in a low voice. Disappeared? Lin Yi frowned. It looked like Xuanyuan had a powerful background. If that was the case, Lin Yi didn't bother to mess with her. He already had enough troubles, and with a tough chick like this chasing him, he didn't need to do anything else. Yet, she disappeared. Maybe she ran away after being threatened, but it's also possible she simply vanished from the face of the earth, Fatty Lai said. That's no secret in high society, forget it, I'm not interested in her, Lin Yi said, and continued to browse the auction catalog. Seeing Lin Yi's genuine lack of interest, Fatty Lai stopped talking. Otherwise, he would have definitely given her more advice. While the boss was powerful, Xuanyuan was not easy to mess with. Suddenly, Lin Yi's eyes rested on a page in the catalog. It was the 1,000-year-old snow lotus that Fatty Lai had mentioned. However, it wasn't the 1,000-year-old snow lotus that caught Lin Yi's attention, but the box containing it. Seeing that Lin Yi's eyes lingered on the 1,000-year-old snow lotus, Fatty Lai thought Lin Yi was somewhat interested, so he introduced it. This was discovered in a cave, quite a few years ago. It's said that some Chinese herbal medicines and medical books were also discovered at the same time, but this 1,000-year-old snow lotus is one of the most precious, reserve price 5 million. Lin Yi glanced at the catalog and asked, what will the selling price be? Yes, the reserve price is 5 million, but the selling price is difficult to estimate. Fatty Lai shook his head. This kind of thing is quite special. If someone really needs it, the price will be very high, but if no one wants it, it won't fetch much. Oh. Lin Yi nodded. Let's buy it tomorrow, boss. Didn't you say before that this is useless? Fatty Lai nodded, but still asked with some doubt. Oh, that snow lotus is useless. I want a box, Lin Yi said, pointing to the box containing the snow lotus on the catalog. Box? Fatty Lai was stunned, but he didn't ask any further questions. He nodded. Okay, I'll do my best. If it's over 100 million, forget it, Lin Yi said. This box was supposedly made from the trunk of a tree called Wanyan Chunmu. Herbs placed inside it would preserve their properties for 1,000 years. Furthermore, it could also ripen and purify some medicines. However, Lin Yi had only read about this in an ancient book owned by his family's old man. The herbs described there were almost mythical medicinal herbs, completely unheard of and non-existent in modern times. Lin Yi had only flipped through the book like an entertainment magazine, never dreaming he would one day encounter something described in such a book. He only had a vague impression of it, The photo of the box in the auction catalog bore some resemblance to the one Yan Shunmu described in the book, but he wasn't sure if they were the same thing. Furthermore, the ancient book was primarily introductory, with only a few words describing each item, and its purpose and usage were completely unclear. So, when Lin Yi came across it, he simply asked Fatty Lai to bid for it out of curiosity. As for whether he could win the bid, Lin Yi didn't really care. Even if he got it, he had no idea if it would be useful, let alone how to use it. He was just bidding for fun. If it was cheap, he'd get it to study. Okay. I'll try, Fatty Lai nodded, taking Lin Yi's request to heart. As for the other auction items, Lin Yi did not have much interest in them. He flipped through them and put them aside casually. What hardcover edition of Dr. Kang's Golden Medicine will be auctioned tomorrow? Yes, their Golden Medicine will be auctioned tomorrow. Fatty Lai nodded and laughed. If nothing unexpected happens, it will probably be sold out. How about we auction the hardcover edition of the trauma medicine as well tomorrow? To cause trouble for them, forget it, don't worry about them. Lin Yi waved his hand. These small amounts of money would not hurt the Kang family much, so Lin Yi naturally had no interest in competing with him. Then forget about them, boss. Come, let's drink. Fatty Lai saw that Lin Yi had finished reading the list and eating the dumplings, so he poured Lin Yi a glass of wine, then raised the glass and said, Boss, I toast to you, let's not go home until we are drunk. Let's celebrate our company's great victory. Lin Yi also picked up the glass with a smile. When it comes to drinking, it is estimated that no one can be Lin Yi's opponent. However, seeing that Fatty Lai and Guanzuman were very happy, Lin Yi naturally would not say that he could not get drunk. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.